This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Weber.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And we are live right now on twitch.tv/Most Valuable Podcast. Shout out to everybody like D-Rose cheated on SSAT, MJ Lewis 13, crazy_Josh2018, Jake Neverman. We love Jake. Shout out to patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast as well. All of these guys right now so far in the chat. Hopefully it will grow as well. We are extremely excited to be bringing this live mock draft to you. And also, the fun part about this is if we screw up, we cannot stop. So, hopefully we go perfect throughout this mock draft. Before we jump in, again, thank you for checking out our twitch.tv/Most Valuable Podcast page. We will be doing as many live streams as possible on this channel. If you're watching post on YouTube, hopefully the quality also held up. That was one thing Ricky's a little bit worried about, so fingers crossed for Ricky. And then finally, check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. If you want to be like Jake, if you want to be like John, if you want to be like the several others that have joined us on podcasts. Recently, Matt joined Dave and I on the Primetime Podcast. Check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. And if you can't give a certain amount, you can at least check out the $1 tier, where you can jump into our Discord and ask us stuff throughout the whole day. Ricky was in there at 3:40 a.m. last night. So
2 days ago.
You can just pick fights with Jake about how the 76ers are a disappointment.
Yes,
and
you
about
can.
how they would be in the right, Jake. They'd be in the finals if they would have beat the Raptors in Game 7.
And Jake now dropping patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. The final thing too is if you guys are in the chat, I'll drop it right now too, just so it aligns. We just dropped our Google spreadsheet in there, so if you guys want to follow along with us throughout this whole process, click on that link. We're getting there, Jake.
You gotta plug Jake. Shameless plugging.
Click on that link so you guys can follow us if you guys want to keep up to date with our picks. But starting off at number 1, the New Orleans Pelicans are on the clock, and GM Ricky Widmer.
So Ricky
is on the pick.
The Celtics are calling.
1 second. Before we get into the mock draft, there's one thing you have to change because we forgot to. Could you change the title on Twitch since you're on a laptop, or one of you guys since you're on a laptop? We didn't put in live mock for our title.
I'll leave that on Sean.
There's a call.
So the Sixers are calling. Not Sixers.
Ring,
the Celtics
ring,
are calling.
ring.
Yep, ring.
All right.
Celtics are on phone. Okay. I'm like, so we can't officially make a deal with you. But in theory, would you be interested in a handful of draft picks come the start of free agency? You just tell me who, and I'll make them for you.
For a Sir Anthony Davis?
I mean, he might be interesting.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no AD trade as of right now.
I'm talking this year's 3 first-rounders. I'm talking next year you're getting a pick. That's 4 first-round picks.
What's the pick next year? Because it can't be your pick if you're giving me your pick this year.
Right. It's Celtics. We got picks. We got picks for days. And of course we'd have to make the salaries work out just a smidge, but because we are stuck in the waiting for Kyrie phase. Would you be interested in all them firsts?
I mean, I personally had breakfast with AD today, and I thought it went pretty well because we didn't break up. Like, we left. I feel confident that, he's still under contract. Like, he's not going anywhere.
The guy's cheating on you right in your face.
I know he is. But you know what?
He's smooching on LeBron.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I think he can change. I think I can change him. I am the one to do that. I'm going to say no trade right now.
Bring.
New caller.
Hey, Atlanta's area code's ringing that bell.
All right.
Neighbor to the east, but not really neighbors because our states don't touch. We're just calling. Me as Travis Shelnick. We made a huge draft pick. Okay, now I'm getting a busy tone. We made a huge trade last draft.
Yeah, you did.
Trading away Luka Doncic, the king of Europe, for Trae Young and a future pick. That's now our 10th pick. So we got Trae Young and a draft pick for Luka Doncic. We're just wondering, that 8th and 10th, that do anything for you on the Anthony Davis front?
No.
You're not just getting 1 pick. You're getting 2 picks now.
And
obviously there's going to be more. There's going to be more, but at least that is the
I'm sitting right now. There is going to be no... I'm going to wait until after July 1st for an AD trade. There is not going to be an AD trade tonight. So, boys, you can stop picking up the phone unless you want that number 1 pick. But guess what? It's my pick, and we're going to go with Zion Williamson, number 1. Probably the easiest pick I'm going to have all day because I could have went with Ja, but come on, who's going to pass up Zion Williamson for Ja, the point guard?
And also we're past the NCAA withdrawal deadline.
Yeah.
So thank God we can stop talking about, will Zion go back? Of course not. Of course not. He's going to take the thousands and thousands and thousands of millions of dollars that he's going to be handed to day one.
Millions of dollars from Nike, millions of dollars from every other sponsor that's going to come his way, because it doesn't matter that he's playing in New Orleans, because he is that fucking crazy. Like, it just, amazing athlete.
And maybe with Zion, I can entice AD to stay in New Orleans.
You think seeing him play there, you think there's a chance that even happens?
Bringing new life to this team. Team starts winning a little bit with Zion and Drew Holiday out there. Like, we don't have a bad team. When AD and Boogie were out there, we were a playoff team.
Yeah.
Maybe Zion and AD can do the same.
Jake put out there 8-10 for Drew. That's, I think, a little too high of a price for Drew, and also I don't think it's exactly necessary. I mean, definitely would be an interesting fit next to Trae Young. But
he's a two-guard.
He's a two-guard. But the thing is that you also have possibly the ability to draft a career point guard or a career two-guard in Jarrett Culver if he's available at 8. And you also just drafted
timeline works better, perhaps too, for the Hawks as a young core.
And you also just drafted Kevin Huerter as well, who has the ability to flip 2 through 3. Let's move now to the second pick. I doubt this is going to be a traded one. Dave is on the clock with the Grizzlies.
Guys, like it's a one-person draft. I don't even know what to do at this point. Because who else could I pick? At the Grizzlies. I'm thinking maybe Shamori Pond's here. Maybe
it's just not funny.
No,
it's just not funny. Just pick.
Just go with. I'll just take the guy that I've been talking about for over a year now. Like, are you kidding me? I love John Morant so much. I would adopt him if I could. That was legally a thing. He's the best point guard in college. He's amazing, and yeah, I'm all in on John Morant going to the Grizzlies. I think he's fantastic.
Is there any consideration for Darius Garland? What separates Garland and Morant?
The ability to pass the ball.
Okay. But also Garland's a better shooter and a better scorer.
Garland, better score is questionable. I think that I think Garland's a better shooter, better form. But Ja has better rebounding, better size, better wingspan, better court vision. Like, everything that checks boxes for a point guard, better. Darius Garland might be a better scorer, but that's about it when it comes to Darius Garland's game. John Morant, also incredible athlete. And guess what? He's also not injured.
That's true.
So there's a lot of things going for John Morant over Darius Garland in my mind.
Darius Garland is younger though.
Coming back, he is a year younger. As Ja is a sophomore.
We've all been on the pretty much the Williamson, Morant, and Barrett hype train. Just trying to create some conversation for picks that seem so obvious
in the draft.
Yeah,
I hope you're wrong in chat right now, Mr. A93. Gonna be Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox thing all over again with Kobe White, Darius Garland, John Morant.
Who's gonna be the good one though?
Probably
Ja.
I'm hoping Ja,
because I mean, if we're comparing those guys to those players, I would say Ja's the most like De'Aaron Fox. Markelle Fultz is probably the most like Darius Garland. I mean, that's kind of iffy. Both different players completely, and then Lonzo. There isn't really a Lonzo out there. So I don't know. Because Kobe can shoot from the outside, and he's definitely not as good as a passer as Lonzo is.
No,
and no one's as big as Lonzo in this draft class either, at least from the point guard position.
Well, and the thing I'm thinking about, if we went off of like the order they were drafted in, Darius Garland and Lonzo would both have been drafted by the Lakers potentially.
Let's now move to the third pick. Ricky, you got the Mecca, New York, under your belt and on the clock.
I'm asking. Any calls? Am I getting any calls for the third pick?
Sean.
The lines are open here
lineup?
in the Garden.
Yeah, here's the thing is, and this has been brought up with D-Rose cheated on his ACT or SAT, which I don't know if it's true. Was it SAT? Because in Chicago we take the ACT. We've taken the ACT for a long time. We're a proud ACT state.
It was the ACT at the time he was in high school. He could have taken the SAT,
as well,
depending on what school you're going to.
Yeah.
Memphis might have been if Tennessee was an SAT state, then he would have had to take the SAT. But now Illinois is an SAT state.
At least on that, he said thoughts on Knicks trading 3 for 8 and 10. I just don't know why the Hawks would want to do that exactly.
I've got a team in mind that I wish would call me, but I'm not going to call them.
At least sticking on this one.
Yeah.
With the Knicks trading 3 for 8 and 10, I don't really see that as a work for the Hawks. The only player that I'd want in the top 3 badly for the Hawks would be Zion Williamson, but he's well off the board. RJ Barrett can fit on the Hawks without a doubt. Secondary ball handler, possibly a good driver, a great body as well. Possible plus defender in the NBA, not entirely sure, but he can score at all 3 levels. Maybe not massively consistently, but he can score at all 3 levels already. So he's definitely an interesting player for them, but I don't think he's worth an 8 and a 10 to move up there for the Hawks. He's definitely worth the 3rd pick, but I don't know if he is worth 8 and 10 to move up.
2 top 10 picks is a lot to give.
Yeah, where you could fill out your lineup for a while. I don't think the Hawks want to do that. And as the Hawks GM, I'm not going to do that. Who's the team you want to call, though, Ricky?
I would really like the Cavs and for them to give me a call. And if they would be open to moving up to 3rd overall in this draft.
That would be bold.
I don't, as the Cavs.
As the Cavs.
I don't see what I could give up to get that 3rd pick, and I'm not really too intrigued by it.
The offer would be you're getting RJ Barrett, let's say, at number 3, because I'm assuming that's who you'd want to pick here.
Yep. If I was. Yeah.
We'd pick swap.
He's currently my best available.
We would pick swap, so you would have the 3rd, I would then have the 5th, and the only thing extra you would have to give me is your pick next year, which is technically top 10 protected. If you're in the top 10, it goes to you. If you're outside the top 10, it goes to Atlanta. I want that pick so that it's if you finish in the top 10, I get the pick. But if you're 11 through 30, Atlanta gets the pick.
Yeah, I really don't want to do that. Because this is a Cavs team that needs to rebuild. You're getting more
but you're getting
players
RJ
down
Barrett.
the line.
You're getting RJ Barrett right now.
But how big of the drop-off? We talked about this. There is a big drop-off, potential-wise and star talent-wise, from that top 3, Barrett, Morant, and Williamson, to the next level of guys. But that doesn't mean that it's without potential. And as the GM of the Cavs, in Kobe, right? Kobe Altman?
Yep.
I think I remember that, right?
Yeah,
It's been a whole year since we talked about the Cavs since LeBron's on the team.
But I'm going to interject here really quick because I want to bring this up. With the new kind of percentages that we have, you dropped from top 3 to 6.
To 5.
To 5 on our spreadsheet. Team and selector are 1. So to 5. Next year, if you're a better team, you're winning a couple more games. Hell, if you're even where the Hawks were or where the Bulls are, you could be dropping potentially out of that top 10 and lose your pick anyways.
Yeah, but
so I'm doing you a favor
the Cavs
here.
are going to be that much better next year.
Yeah.
I mean, with RJ Barrett, I think they could be a kind of 7-8 team and possibly get bounced out.
I would rather
with the
have
lottery.
a top 10 pick next year in a better draft class than to just trade up for one guy. So I'm going to pass on that as the Cavs. So, Knicks, I think your phone lines are dead. So who are you picking?
We're going to go with RJ Barrett. And the entire reason I went with this trying to trade with the Knicks to the Cavs is there were news and rumors that Knicks worked out Jarrett Culver, could like Jarrett Culver quite a bit. So I'm thinking, and the whole reason I wanted to make this trade is swap 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Get that Cav pick because let's be honest, I tried to swindle Sean.
Yep.
Cavs are going to be in the top 10 next year. They're not going to be that much
100%.
better of a team.
That's stupid.
And then I could use that
didn't
pick.
even think
I could
much
use
about that.
that pick along with the Dallas pick, along with probably picks of my own to have even a better package to get Anthony Davis. Because if I'm getting Kevin Durant and possibly Kyrie Irving, my pick next year going to be poop for the Pelicans to want. But that top 10 pick, now that adds a spicy pick to next year for the Pelicans. So that's why I wanted to make that deal.
Yeah, I don't think
get AD.
it was pretty clear why.
Yeah.
Who are you picking, though?
Oh, RJ Barrett. I already made that pick.
Well, I didn't answer it, so I don't know.
RJ Barrett, welcome to New York.
All right. Now, on the clock, the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going from the other Mecca on the East Coast to the West Coast. Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out Rob Pelinka. Shout out Magic Johnson. I wish I had the clip of I ain't going to be here no more to play. But, Dave, you are on the clock as the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm waiting restlessly to make a pick. But what are you going to do as the Lakers at 4?
I mean, I feel like the Lakers are pretty laid back in their decision here. You got 2 options realistically. It's either you're either going to end up with Cam Reddish, recently found out about an injury. I don't know how much stock you want to place in that injury. Ricky, I believe you had the information on that.
Yeah, that was Shams said it was a core injury he's gonna have surgery on it. He'll be out 6 weeks and then be healthy. It did nag him when he was at Duke this year. So I'm looking at it as that's why you struggled this year because of injury.
Not at all. If he knew that he was a top 3 prospect going into that year. If he was injured, he would have pulled out. Look what it did to Bul's stock. Look what it did to Darius Garland's stock. Pretty much absolutely nothing. If you're injured and you knew that you were going to come out, you would have stopped playing basketball, gotten that done, and been like, I am fully healthy. And that's way easier than coming back from what Garland's coming back from and Bol Bol's coming back from.
To be fair, Romeo Langford also had surgery after the season ended. I'm just saying, like, another guy who had
just
performance.
clarifying what it was.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I don't know. Everybody plays a little differently depending on the thing, and I think core injury, I'm not uber concerned about it, really, but I do like the prospect of Darius Garland on the Lakers, and I think that pending a phone call, I'm locking in Darius Garland.
And D Rose cheated, said, as a Lakers fan, it's either Cam Reddish or Garland at 4, or I riot.
Yeah, no riot necessary, sir. I think we're on the same page. Darius Garland, I think, is an absolute great fit for them if they decide to keep him. Mm-hmm. If they decide to move him, he has a ton of upside, and I think an attractive prospect for other teams.
Yeah, I don't really know who would be trading up to get that pick exactly. Mm-hmm. Because as the Lakers, what would you want to move down? What are you trying to gain moving down?
I'm not trying to move down. I think I'm just trying to move for Anthony Davis at this point.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And Ricky already closed that off. So, way to go, Ricky. Way to kill all the content of this whole fucking draft.
I closed it off for the draft. After the draft, we'll have conversations. Because then Boston, that deal becomes a little bit more... little bit more spicy.
Let's say the Lakers cannot make a deal for Anthony Davis. They are stuck with Darius Garland. Yep. How does he fit with that team right now?
I think he can play a 2-guard to Lonzo Ball, give them more spacing. I know their lineup gets a little intriguing at that point because you do have B.I. who plays as a primary ball handler at his best. Lonzo Ball, who runs the fast break great. His 3-point shooting is hilarious. And, you never have to worry about defense. So, that, I think, is the true key. So if you have Lonzo Ball out there, you can allow yourself to roll with Darius Garland and not get punished too hard for it because Garland, obviously, defensively is nowhere close to the level of athlete that Lonzo is or the level of perimeter defender that he is. So I think while Garland provides you excellent spacing, great shooting, someone else LeBron can kick out to, I don't think it's a force Lonzo out of town move. I know that a lot of people want to be like, the Bulls got to pick later on.
MJ Lewis just said Garland at 4, trade Lonzo to the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to move Lonzo out of town. I know he's been hurt both years, but I'm not giving up on Lonzo Ball yet.
And then also D Rose cheated coming back, pretty much throwing out what you just said. Garland and Lonzo complement each other. Well, actually, I think because Garland isn't much of a passer but a great shooter, and Lonzo is a great passer but isn't a great shooter at this point. In the full court, Lonzo is a brilliant passer.
Yeah.
In the half court, we have seen him struggle. Maybe with more shooters like Garland out there available, that might help their ability to move and help show Lonzo how good of a passer he was in the half court, at least at UCLA. But so far, really haven't seen that. I would be in the same boat as you, though, Dave. Garland is my best available at that point, and I really don't see a player that really fits with him right away. Maybe Cam Reddish, but
Cam could, but at the same time, is that really going to be an upgrade over KCP, who I know you're paying a stupid amount of money to? Well, you were up and through the end of this year, but I don't know. He's not an upgrade over him, so it's I mean, I'll take a discount version of a 3-and-D player over Cam Reddish, who you're hoping could be something, but at the same time had one of the worst statistical shooting percentages ever in college at that volume.
Yeah, and going to the next pick, the 5th pick overall, the Cavs are listening to trade offers if anybody really is interested, but I think we can kind of throw out there with trades, the biggest things are just going to be players moving rather than actual picks because...
I could see teams trying to move up, but it just, to me, the only way a team, the Bulls could potentially move up, but if Garland's off the board, the only way I move up here is if I really want Kobe White, because I feel like the Suns would take him right before us.
Mm-hmm.
They may.
I'm
not calling.
But how close do you think the Bulls are to making that trade?
I think the Bulls front office would not make that deal. If we're going to make a trade, we're trading for Lonzo Ball. We're going to trade for that veteran point guard over the rookie
veteran
coming
very
in.
loosely.
I mean, the guy
played,
who's been
30
in the
games last year.
The guy who's actually been in the league compared to the guy who's coming fresh into the league.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm going to drop this link in the group chat because not the group chat in the chat right now.
Yep.
Pennywise just asked, I missed the lottery. Can someone summarize some of the picks? You guys can all follow right there on the link we just shared in the Twitch chat. But let's go to my next pick. Cavs, no calls are going on. If we're looking at my big board, Zion off the board, RJ off the board, Ja off the board, Garland off the board. Those are my 4 tiers pretty much. Obviously, it was Zion in his own tier, then tier 3 was RJ and Ja, and then tier 3 technically was Darius Garland. Now we're in that tier 5 where these guys have potential, but it's kind of muddied. Like, it has to be kind of a perfect situation for them to hit. Those guys are DeAndre Hunter, Sekou Demboya, Jarrett Culver, Goga Batazde, and Cam Reddish. And looking at all those options, I don't think Goga would be the move here. I think that's way too early for him. And also, I don't really like that fit. Colin Sexton was phenomenal after the All-Star break, and they do have Kevin Love, and they have Tristan Thompson there, and Larry Nance as well.
Yeah.
There's some interesting players on that team that can definitely already contribute to the center position, and I don't know if Goga's immediately that step in and be that franchise changer. And maybe at his peak, he can be a guy that is making a couple All-Star games, but I don't really think he's ever going to be a standout wow. He's never going to be better than a Joel Embiid. He's never going to be better than a Karl-Anthony Towns.
He's not going to be a top 5 center, most likely.
Exactly. I don't think he has that massive top end. DeAndre Hunter, I think, is a very safe pick here, but I don't really want to go safe here if I'm the Cavs, because Ricky already talked about it. If we are good for some reason, we're not going to have our pick if it goes outside of the top 10. So I kind of want to at least take a risk here, because I might not be able to take a risk next year. So that leaves me with Sekou Demboya, kind of Jarrett Culver and Cam Reddish. But Culver is kind of in that same boat as DeAndre Hunter, a second-year player that clearly has shown a very great work ethic to make himself better.
Yeah.
But I don't really find that top end super attractive.
So
it's either going international with Sekou Demboya or going with the player that I've bashed so many times on this podcast here.
Correct.
In Cam Reddish, who we already talked about, is currently getting surgery for a core muscle.
I've got a sidebar here.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a rumor yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if a team like the Celtics here were just like, we worked out Cam Reddish. We like his personality. We took a second look at it. We got some draft picks. Cavs, what do you think value-wise would it take to get that 5th pick? We got 14. We've got 20 and 22 this year. Got a late second, but we've also got picks in the future. What would it take to move up?
For speaking as hypothetically,
the Celtics.
The Celtics, who you do own their picks.
Yeah. Hypothetically.
You guys own the 14th pick, you guys own the 20th pick, and you guys own the 22nd pick.
Yep.
You guys do have Jaylen Brown on the roster.
We do. But you know what they say? You can't have too many Wangs.
It's true. Why are you making that pick though, or why Cam Reddish if you are trading up?
I'm just Cam Reddish
I don't know if
seems like a Boston, like I could see them falling in love with him in the draft, and if they lean the other way and say, look, Kyrie is unlikely to be coming back. Anthony Davis, then I don't know that I want to bring Anthony Davis in for the 1 year with his attitude, as it stands, his bold statements about I'm signing with New York, or I'm signing basically with LA. So I wonder if they're just like, look, let's just swing for the fences. We've knocked out of the park with our last couple of top picks in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. We could see someone in Cam Reddish who could fill out that 2, 3, 4 for them of the future.
Well, you're speaking highly about Jaylen Brown, and that would be the guy that I'd be interested in.
Oh.
So I don't think you want to move away from him.
I would prefer not to.
Yeah, and I don't really think I just want to load up on picks in this draft.
You don't want draft picks?
No.
We've got futures. We're the Celtics. We've got futures.
But what's the need for the Cavs to get future? Obviously, they
You're bad
load
at
up
basketball. That would be the need.
That's true, but wouldn't I want to get a player now and try to at least get the max value? Because with that 14th pick, you're probably just getting bench guys anyways. I mean, this is a very thin draft.
Yeah, you
just
might
bench
be able
guys.
to get a guy with guys like Giannis in the teens. You get guys,
Giannis was a completely different draft class.
I'm just saying,
Giannis was a completely different.
Karis LeVert was 20. Jimmy Butler was the end of the first round.
Yeah,
you can find your stars anywhere in the draft.
You can, but that doesn't mean the Cavs will. And it's easier to hit on top 10 picks because those guys are clearly more talented.
So
potentially,
the thing I'm going to throw out there with the Cavs picks,
at least at this point, they can always change without a doubt.
The thing with the Cavs picks, and Milwaukee plays into this because Milwaukee next year, I believe, the Bucks are going to be in the 8 to 30 range. I mean, I don't think they're going to be top 7 in the draft. So next year's picks for the Bucks is going to go over to the Phoenix Suns. If that happens...
Okay, that's in the Bledsoe trade.
Yeah. If that happens, then in 2022 future, you get the Cavs get the Milwaukee pick between 11 and 30.
And that was in the George Hill trade. I don't really think there's a need to trade back, especially all the way back to 14.
That's fine.
Because in that range, we've put possibly, maybe a Nasir Little, who does have a lot of potential, but I don't know if he has that two-way potential that Cam Reddish does. And I'm going to go with Cam Reddish here.
And the Bulls are just Oh, that's the guy we were hoping
And
for.
and we talked about this ad nauseum throughout our draft coverage. Cam Reddish in Cleveland, I think, would be a hugely great, perfect fit for him. I think he needs the ability to take shots, and they saw that they were giving shots to Colin Sexton last year, and they were giving him the ability to grow, and I think that's exactly what he needs. He needs to be in an isolated, spot where they play a ton of isolated offense, where they're just going to put him in the mode to go after, attacking the rim and just going after your man. And I think Cam Reddish has shown in at least some workout tapes, and then also in his high school days, I really didn't see that much at Duke, that he can really show that athleticism and that length and get by guys and attack the bucket. And I think that's going to be the most intriguing part that I want John Beilein to work on, is that we've seen him work on Karis LeVert before. We've seen him work on Charles Matthews before. And both of those guys were kind of in similar veins, where they were guys that would go ISO on the wing and attack and try to create space in the mid-range and create space driving. And I think giving him a player with that much potential, that much athleticism, would be very intriguing, and I want to do that right now, so I'll take Cam Reddish with the 5th pick. That means at 6, the Suns are on the clock. Dave, who's your pick?
I'm not even going to waste time on this one. I'm the Suns. I'm forced to take Kobe White at this point in time.
I mean, you don't have to.
No.
You could open up the phones to trade.
You could go with a 4, Sekou Demboya.
I could go with a 4 like Sekou Demboya. I'm not. I'm taking a point guard. I'm the Suns. I need a point guard. They're like my magic of last year and the year before that was, you need a point guard, take a point guard. Quit going around what your need is. I get it. It's the top of the draft. There's a percentage of draft need versus draft on overall talent. I think Kobe White intersects at a nice point for them here. He's a good outside shooter. He can facilitate. He doesn't need the ball in his hands at all times, so I think he and Devin Booker are a great pairing. We saw Devin average, 7 assists a game last year? I know, obviously, they didn't win a ton of games. They're at the top of the draft for a reason. But having someone like Kobe White out there is an instant upgrade over DeAnthony Melton, over Eli Okafor. So I'd love to see them roll with Kobe White with this pick.
Yeah, when you see a guy who's shooting 86% from the line but only 32% from 3, you have to just wonder what's the problem with it, especially when he's a 26.6 scorer like Devin Booker is. And the biggest thing is just he doesn't have a guy to pass him the ball.
Yep.
And that's what he needs right now is a guy to, hit him when he's open and just create space for Devin Booker. And that's the biggest thing that Kobe White will hopefully do for them, because Devin Booker was insanely stupid. If you have a guy that's putting up 26, pretty much 7 and 4 boards a game on 46.7 shooting and 86% from the line, you should be like, wow, this guy should be, this is a playoff. This is a guy that's a star on a playoff team. But they were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, and he just doesn't have a point guard. And I think getting that spacing not only would benefit him, but also Devin Booker. I'm not in love with Kobe White, but I agree with you. You've been ignoring this need for so long.
Absolutely.
Take another shot. And even if it's like the 2014 Suns, when you had Isaiah Thomas and Goran Dragic and, Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight, now none of those guys are on the team anymore. Having guards is important, especially with Devin Booker. So I agree with that pick. Ricky, you're now up at the Bulls, and unfortunately, Ja Morant is not there for you, like Jake thought he would be.
I mean, not even Ja Morant, but I was really hoping Cam Reddish would be there. Like, that's the guy. I was thinking the Cavs. I was thinking you'd go Jarrett Culver, because I knew the Suns were going to go Kobe White. I did not have to worry about them taking anything. And when the Celtics called, I almost picked up my phone. It's like, oh, if the Celtics are going to get him for Cam Reddish, I might have to trade up for him.
Thinking about it.
I have my pick in mind. I've got my BPA that I'm taking. However, before I make the pick, is there anyone who wants to try to woo the Bulls with a trade for the 7th overall before I make my selection?
I don't have anyone I'm really targeting in this range from my teams. Not worth the firepower on my team's end. Sorry.
What do you want to move? What would you want?
Depends on what you offer. Like,
what team?
I don't have a set price. Try to woo me. Try to woo me to give up that 7th pick. If you have a team that is trying to move up.
I'm trying. Give me some time. Give me some time to think. I'll give you.
Which team?
The 12th pick is the Charlotte Hornets. The 52nd pick. A future second round from you. And I will give you next year's pick, lottery protected. Lottery protected.
I'm going to say no. And the reason why I am going to say no is, as the Bulls, I was hoping for two things: either the Celtics to call me up.
I'm good.
No, I know. I would have taken Kings and Clippers picks. Like those would have been. And I'm just saying that's what I was kind of thinking. Or a team like the Hornets was a good one. But if I'm trading with a team like the Hornets, I want that protection to be away.
No, I'm not
because
stupid.
You're gonna be bad. And
Yeah,
I
but I'm
want
not
that
stupid.
high pick. Yeah, I know. I tried to swindle, and I'm gonna take Jarrett Culver and just move on with my life. So Jarrett Culver, Chicago Bulls.
Interesting. As a Bulls fan, interesting. I honestly, can you sell me on how that's going to work in our offense?
For me, it was the
Do
next
we have
two.
Chris Dunn on the bench?
So the next three guys that were on my personal big board, Jarrett
Don't
Culver,
care.
Hunter.
Sell me on Jarrett Culver in the offense. That's what I asked.
For
The Bulls.
For the Bulls, I
Yeah.
feel like he would be a good fit next to Zach LaVine because the one problem we saw in the tournament is, when he has to make decisions, have the ball in his hands, that's when he has trouble. But guess what? Zach LaVine will do that. He can play off ball to
Chris
Zach.
Dunn to the bench is your...
I mean, I don't know if I would put Culver at the point guard. Probably he'd be coming off the bench because we're not going to bench Otto Porter. But depending on what happens, he's the best player on my board. I was not going to take DeAndre Hunter above him. Wasn't going to take Ball above him. Wasn't even going to take Brandon Clark above him. So it's just straight BPA for me for Jarrett Culver to the Bulls.
Let's go to the chat. Mainly, Rudy Gay's better than Ben Simmons. Naz Reid's better than Ben Simmons. Also, Pennywise coming in. It's been a long time since we saw Pennywise.
Yeah.
He said LeBron James for the 7th pick, something Ricky would have proposed.
I'd take it.
All right, chat time for Ricky, to woo Ricky. I really don't see the Lakers trading Alonzo for the 7th because who's there at 7 that they would really want? I kind of agree with that. I don't really see a player that would be there. Maybe Culver, because he can shoot. He can catch and shoot. I mean, that's something that he can do. I don't think he can create for himself, but he can sit on the outside and catch and shoot. And we talked about him having a great work ethic. I think he would go after that and try to prepare himself to be a better shooter. But even you look at his free throw lines, and he's not naturally a great shooter. I think that's something he'd need to work on.
Yeah.
Maybe even DeAndre Hunter as well, because, again, he's got a very good stroke from the outside. But those are really the only two players that I would see. Wolves give up 11th, future first, and KBD for the Bulls pick.
Keita Bates-Diop.
I think that's a lot to move up because I don't really know who they would want exactly. For Spencer throwing out Lonzo and the 4 for the 7th, which makes no sense. But again, a Ricky trade, and that's about it.
I don't feel like my trades
roasted.
today have been too bad.
No, what would have wooed you for the Hornets? Because I'm not giving you a first.
I would have taken, if you would have said top 10 instead of lottery protected, I would have thought about it.
See, that's the thing though with the Hornets is I think they've been literally right outside the top 10 for like 4 straight years. So I'm not going to do that.
But here's the thing: as soon as you said Hornets, I went, they might not be good because they probably. In my mind, I don't think Kemba's coming back.
Yeah.
Unless he really wants the money.
If I dropped that 2nd round pick, would you have done it? If I just gave you, if it was straight up 12 for 8 and my 2nd rounder.
And your 2nd rounder?
Yeah.
No, I want the whole.
My trade was that.
No.
Like
It wasn't like it was a bad deal. It was my target was I wanted a future first. If you would have said top 10, I would have still worked and I wouldn't have hung up the phone. It was lottery protected. I was like, do I really want to finagle for that top 10 protected? And I said, you know what, screw it. I'll just take Jarrett Culver and move on.
Jake, the moist one is not getting traded. Don't worry.
Yeah, I thought about it just because they don't use him, but also giving him up I think would be a waste because he's still very young and there's still time for him to grow.
Exactly.
Now the Hawks are on the board with their 8th and 10th with their 8th picks. I'm going 3 times in a row though. I have the Hawks and Wizards. As the Hornets GM as well, I'm trying to trade up because I feel like this is where Sekou Demboya should go.
Yeah.
And that's where he will go. Sekou Demboya is going to be selected by the Atlanta Hawks. They're not really going to trade with the Hornets. I don't think they're going to be finagled too much or really incentivized too much to move with the Hawks. I don't really think there's a reason to, because why would you want to give a player that you are high on to your in conference rival?
Right.
So I'm going to go with Sekou Demboya here. I think that he might not be a perfect fit here. DeAndre Hunter is probably already a better finished product than DeAndre Hunter, but Sekou Demboya's potential is so high, and we see his length and his athleticism and his burgeoning shot. It's something that is very intriguing, and he's very good in transition, and he's got the length to be a good defender. And if you put him in a well-cultured team like the Atlanta Hawks, and you give him a defensive-minded head coach that's worked with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid before and Lloyd Pierce, I think that might be a great growing ground for Sekou Doumbouya, and I think it'd be very hard for them to pass up the ability to take Sekou Doumbouya, who has such high potential to work on and be molded by this Hawks front office and coaching staff. I think it'd be stupid for them to pass up and trade with the team. So go Sekou Doumbouya. I'm not going to mess it up this time and go with Nasir Little.
Especially with this second pick you've got, at 10. I mean, that is the ultimate insurance policy.
Yeah, I'm locking in Sekou Doumbouya for the Hawks. The Wizards are now on the clock at 9. Phone lines are open. Anybody?
Ooh. I am...
Celtics?
I thought about it, and then I click and put the phone
For who?
down. For a team that is not... For a team that is not in the first round.
You know what? The Pistons are interested in that pick.
All right.
So say there's a pick swap, and then I have to actually do my knowledge.
So 15.
Here. Yeah.
So at least 9 for 15.
And then on top of that, I'm just double checking the Pistons' future picks.
I don't think they have much.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
I got a tab open with that already.
Oh, do you?
For the Pistons?
For all the teams. So the Pistons have all of their first rounders.
Oh.
Just
Delightful.
their own.
So I will give you, it is 9 to 15. And then I will give you an unprotected...
Would that be 2021 then?
2021.
Deal. Absolutely deal. Deal.
Yep.
You're picking.
I'm taking DeAndre Hunter.
Okay. So the Pistons move up and take DeAndre Hunter for the Wizards.
The guy that I have shit-talked numerous times on this show as the most boring prospect in this draft class because all he does is shoot well, defend well, and do everything you would want the prototypical 3-and-D player to do in the modern NBA. You know what the Pistons have not had in quite some time? Was someone who can play the wing, who can actually score the goddamn ball. Luke Kennard went fucking supernova mode, couldn't get it done.
I thought supernova was only reserved for Terrence Ross.
The supernova of offense is Terrence Ross. Luke Kennard went just supernova.
I still love how he went off that playoff game right after you said that, too.
He believed in me and I believed in him. It's a trust we've got, me and T. But I think it's the ideal fit for them. Because
MJ Lewis likes that trade, he said. He said, Rip Stanley Johnson, I like that trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like it needs to happen because I really do believe. I think that a healthy Blake Griffin, healthy Luke Kennard, you roll out DeAndre Hunter out there, healthy Reggie, like this team and
Luke
DeAndre Drummond.
Luke Kennard is a god.
Yeah,
worship him.
He's awesome. I think that's a team in the East that will be underdogged by a lot of people, but absolutely because Kennard and Hunter out there shooting, incredible. Blake Griffin, what was he shooting? 7 threes a game this year at a good clip.
Yeah.
You add on top, if Reggie is healthy for more than half a season, that team's winning like 45 games, no problem. And I think that in the East next year, it's going to be very interesting. So I like that group together.
Blake, 5. This is last
Only
year.
5? Okay.
Still a fantastic
that's a lot
size.
for a 4.
He was taking 7 threes, though. Sorry. You said he's taking 3s. I was looking at assists.
Yeah.
5.4 assists, and he was taking 7 threes
threes a
on the
game.
money. Yeah,
That's-
at 36%.
I know my stats sometimes.
Yes, good job, Dave. You can't remember names, but you can remember that Blake Griffin shooting
Miscellaneous
7 threes a game.
Look, I don't understand it. I don't question it. I just go with the flow.
I think it's a good trade, though, for both teams because as the Wizards, that gives me ammo if that pick's really good to possibly move John Wall if I want to. Or if not, if that pick's really good, you can at least replenish that youth because maybe John Wall's a little bit older and you can't get rid of his contract, but you can bring in a young guard later down the road, especially 2 years from now when you fully get him back after him sitting out this year and then a couple years with him as well. And at that point, you also might know the future of Bradley Beal in Washington as well. So
it's true.
It's definitely something that I find intriguing because there's no lock that the Pistons will be good. Blake Griffin isn't a pinnacle of health. Andre Drummond isn't a game changer in my mind. So I think it's a beneficial trade for both teams, especially being unprotected.
Yep.
So good trade there, Dave. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And also with the Wizards too. New fresh start from the front office. So I think that makes sense for them. Hawks are now on the board again.
I really just couldn't wait to talk again. That was mostly my excuse. It was like, you got all the picks in the middle. I was like, got a butt in here.
Phone lines are open for the Hawks at 10. Anybody?
Click.
Nothing. Not interested right now.
All right. So we went with Sekou Doumbouya in our last pick. Best available on my board, Goga Bitadze. Wouldn't be upset taking him, but both international players, maybe not. Kobe White's off the board. Bol Bol's available. PJ Washington, Romeo Langford, Kevin Porter Jr., KZ Akpala, Jackson Hayes, Nasir Little. Those are the guys that are at least in order of my big board. And I think you just got to stick with your board. I am very high on Goga Batazde's versatility. I'm high on his motor. I'm high on his intensity. And I think that if you pair him with John Collins, who's also a very intense player, I think it could be a very fun and exciting pair throughout the future. It's games that offensively they might not be too drastic, which might cause a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But I think Goga actually has a developing outside shot, and John Collins could shoot from outside of 15. So I think he can at least compare well to him. And at least looking at Batazde, the biggest thing that we're looking for in a center for the Hawks is somebody who can protect the rim.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has the quickest of feet to, really stick with guys, but he does have that intensity. And I think that the biggest thing that I would wonder with him is where is he at least understanding the game?
Yeah.
And if he understands the game like a Nikola Jokic, he is more athletic than Jokic and can put himself in situations that are beneficial. And if he's putting himself in situations that are more beneficial, we've seen with big guys, that's really the biggest thing. It's not about speed. It's not about length.
Is so key.
It's about positioning. And if you can teach him positioning, if you can teach him how to properly play defense down low, which I think he can, I think he has that intensity too. I think he could be a really dangerous player. So Hawks go with Goga Batazde, and they go both international players in Sekou Doumbouya and
that's bold. When he got two shots, I was
Goga
expecting
Batazde.
like a lock in that second pick. I was hoping for like one of the blue blood, maybe. I don't know. It's just
that's the thing is like what locks are there? Because I'm not going to go with really the only blue blood is available. There's two, PJ Washington and Nasir Little.
Yeah.
But I just took Sekou Doumbouya.
Yep.
At least positionally, that makes no sense. So then you have to go look at the positions that you are of need, and that's just center. And you either take a shot at Bol, you either take a shot at Jackson Hayes' potential, or you take a shot at Goga.
Yep.
I like Goga the most, and if I had to rank them, I'd probably go, at least for the Hawks, I'd go Goga, Jackson, Bol.
Yeah, see, I would for the Hawks. I like what they're trying to do and try to be their little mini Golden State. I like what Bol brings to the table with how he can shoot from the outside. I feel like him in transition will be better than a Batazde for the Hawks. So me personally, I would have went with Bol if I was looking center.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, and Mr. Ray threw it out there. Hawks are looking for shooters. Len Dedman are taking more threes this season. That is true. And I think if you're looking at that, Bol would be the guy. But also, I think you want a player that can play. At least be out on the floor, and that's my biggest concern for them. Is that he can't be that. And they're bringing up Dante Exum is glass. So and maybe that is Bol in my mind.
Okay, Spencer Life. If Dante Exum is glass, Penny Hardaway, like Penny Hardaway was already made of glass. So like, what are we talking here? That is
sugar
beyond.
glass.
Yeah,
Exum is sugar glass.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next pick, and that is the Timberwolves at 11. And Ricky, before you pick, I just want to throw out there from crazy_Josh 2018. Clark and Rui better not be going 11th to the Wolves. Dear God, no, please, no, please, no. We want Nicky Alexander-Walker. Sekou isn't available. I think you meant if.
Phones are open. I'm looking to make a trade here. My guys, I feel like the guys I might have gone with are off the board. There are guys available that teams below me might want, and we're open for business here at 11. The T-Wolves looking to move down or maybe accumulate some draft picks.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Give me a moment because I'm going.
I'm thinking too.
I think the Celtics don't need to move up. There's enough guys in the pool available for them by 14.
Yeah.
But
I don't
if there's
think
a guy you really, you really want,
but there's not.
Think about the Spurs.
Oh,
okay.
That's a bold move from the Spurs.
They got 2 picks, right?
They do.
They got one of them in the Kawhi Leonard trade, and maybe Greg Popovich sees a future Kawhi Leonard in Nasir Little. I don't see that, but maybe he does. Answer this is not the T-Wolves GM.
Okay.
Do you think moving the 19th pick and the 29th pick for the Spurs to go up and get a player would be smart?
I mean, if you really like that player,
okay, but which player then would you look at if you're the Spurs?
For me,
to move up, because they're the only team that I'm looking at that could possibly move up outside of the Celtics.
I mean, for me, the guy, if I look at my big board, the guy that's the top right now that's available is Bol. And it's like, do do you really want Bol if you're the Spurs?
Clearly not, because they were
Yeah.
the team that shot the least amount of threes in the NBA
And then
last
the
year.
next two I have are
But they were the most efficient.
the next two on the availability are Brandon Clark, Rui, then Kevin Porter, and then Nasir Little. And I am always on the mindset of no matter what your fan base thinks, if you believe in somebody and want to go get them, go get them. If it ends out to be a bad trade and a bad deal, you're going to have to live with that. But I rather make the deal than be too scared, not make the deal, and then have him be a great player and be like, man, I should have fucking made that deal. So that's how I feel personally, and that just goes in life, not just this.
The Sixers are calling.
Okay.
The Sixers have a boatload of second-round picks, and I already see Jake flying off that the Sixers should trade up. We'll give you the 24th. We'll give you the 34th.
Okay.
We'll give you the 42nd. And we will give you a lottery-protected 2022 first-rounder.
Say that one more time for me.
We will give you the 24th pick, the 34th pick, the 42nd pick, and a lottery-protected 2022 first-rounder.
Deal, because you're not going to be in that lottery, so I will take that trade and accumulate those draft picks.
Okay, so we got a deal. So 76ers are moving up. Maybe that was too much. Whatever.
I was gonna say that,
But that's also moving up 13 spots.
Yeah, no. Can you get the trade written up as when you have chance?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Twitch.
So it's going to be a pick swap for the 11th and 24th,
Yep.
and then 34th pick,
Yep.
42nd pick,
Yep.
and 2022 lotto protected first to
Kyle Craig, don't give up the 24th. Shake my head.
why
I think Kyle's also a Philadelphia.
he is,
fan.
but I know Kyle. But why not give up the 24th?
I do.
That bad?
I do.
Interesting.
Why?
You'll
see.
I'm
You'll see
surprised.
later.
It's dependent on what the 76ers need. And you can go after the three-point shooter in Tyler Hero, a little bit of a reach. You can go after some of these two guards, Romeo Langford, Kevin Porter Jr., especially if you do not think that JJ Redick's going to be back and really what's on this bench. You can go KZ Okpala. You're definitely not going Jackson Hayes or Bobo off the board. I traded up, and I
Regret trading up?
no, I don't regret trading up.
But who did you have in mind? You had to have a reason.
Tyler Hero.
Really?
Yeah. But
At
it was
12?
That's the thing. It's 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. At
It's
11.
worse.
I forgot the numbers. Yeah.
Oops.
Well,
I could trade back in. Fuck it. Tyler Hero.
wow.
Tyler Hero.
Wow. That's a high price on Hero. I like his shooting. Again, 91% from the line's incredible. 35% from the field in college, though. He did heat up as the season went on.
Yeah.
And especially in the bigger games, he did shine. So I will give him credit for that. He's an elite club for shooting percentages. I'll at least give him that. As far as freshmen in college who were in the 40, 35, 90, I think pretty elite territory.
Here's the thing that I think it really comes down to is at the end of the day, you can't put a premium on elite shooting. And if he is this elite,
Yep.
I think that it's worth it, especially for the makeup of this team right now.
Yeah.
And I think that right now you're not going to get a player in free agency with his shooting skills that you can at least develop. And some people might bring up Landry Shamet.
I was going to say, is this just
It was-
a recovery because you gave up Shamet for
Possibly.
Toby?
But also you look at what he compares to, at least to guys from college, and
Yep.
it's there's guys out there like Wayne Ellington who's been a fantastic 3-point shooter throughout his whole career.
He is, yeah.
You could see guys like Jacob Evans, who we were high on last year, who ended up going to the Warriors. Brandon Rush was an elite 3-point shooter in college, but one thing that Tyler Hero has is he was not a 3. Rush was too slow to play the 3. And Rush was never able to make that change over, but he was always a fantastic 3-point shooter, and that's why he stayed in the league for so long. And then Tim Hardaway is one guy that pops up that has similar stats, at least from the University of Michigan. And the one thing that Hardaway doesn't have that Hero does is that free throw percentage. And none of these guys that I just named have that free throw percentage to the level of Tyler Hero. And I think
it's like a machine,
shows
man.
that he might not be just these guys. He's a different player from all the guys that I mentioned. He's just going to be that elite spot-up shooter, and that means you can move away from J.J. Redick and focus your money on a certain spot. You could focus that money solely on Jimmy Butler and possibly bring him back Tobias Harris as well.
His measurables concern me. I knew he wasn't the tallest guy, but the negative wingspan is going to be hard defensively for him. I know he's a high effort kind of guy on defense. We saw it throughout his college career. He will run himself ragged, but at the same time, I just go, how much effort can compensate for a lack of physical gifts? And I think I keep coming back to that because it's just, you go, old Bucks, new Magic, give me that wingspan, give me that plus measurables, and he has the opposite of that. So that doesn't, I'm not saying it scares me either, but it doesn't give you like a flag.
He's not the only guy in the world that has bad measurables.
Yeah.
In the NBA. Like, you can survive. It's not going to be easy for him to survive defensively as a guy with not great measurables, but you're also going, what?
If you're filling in as J.J. Redick, they don't expect you to be the defensive stalwart.
Well, and the thing, too, that I think that stands out to me about it is just, you're on one of the best defensive teams already. If you bring back Jimmy Butler, you bring back Ben Simmons, you bring back Joel Embiid, all three of those guys are amazing defenders. So at the end of the day, you're just going to be on the worst offensive player. And if he's just playing, put him in the corner and he doesn't have to switch too often, I think he might be fine.
Okay.
And hey, maybe it's not blocking shots and making steals, but at least as long as you're contesting, I think that's something that is going to be important. Let's see what people are saying. Hero can heat up. That's good to see. Stretch 4 if we can't bring Tobias back. That's true. Grant Williams is ass. We weren't talking
Disagree.
about. Choose wisely, Sean. Thanks, Jake. I know Jake was a big fan of Tyler Hero, so it was kind of a little bit of that to go in there. But looks like it wasn't that bad of a trade.
The one thing I will say, and I'm not saying this is like Sean would have made this trade or wouldn't have made this trade, but right now, one of the teams that I have that doesn't have a first-round pick, the Rockets are kind of sitting there going, all right, we're not making a deal. Because I was going to call you up when we get to that 76er pick and try to be like Jimmy Butler. I don't think he's coming back to the Philadelphia 76ers. If you don't bring back Jimmy, then do you bring back Tobias?
Yeah, but I can't trade Jimmy if I don't have him
maybe
signed.
Working out a kind of like Dave with the Pelicans, a little wink deal with Chris Paul to get the 24th. That is a deal I tried to throw out there because you need a star.
You're going to trade the 24th pick for Chris Paul.
Well, I mean, not straight up, but there would be things in it. But that's what I would want to get while moving Chris Paul. And now I can't because you guys moved up, and there's no other team that I think has that cap flexibility to take on that deal.
I'm glad I made that trade because I definitely did not want to see Chris Paul thrown out there.
Don't I?
No, I've got the Rockets. Don't I?
Nope, I've got the Rockets.
Oh, well, Rockets aren't making a deal then.
Rockets
I don't think
did
you're
not make
trade.
a deal.
Rick, Dave, you want to make a deal?
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's now move on to the Hornets. Again, at me. Fuck, someone trade with me. It's 4 straight picks. Hornets at 12.
Dave originally had 5 in a row because
Ricky
he picked
stole
all the
teams
doubles.
from me.
I stole one team.
All right. They're on the board. I've talked about this already for the Hornets. PJ Washington. I think it's an easy fit for them. I love him at 3. They have Miles Bridges, who's very similar. And maybe people are going to throw out Bobo out there. But I really like PJ Washington. I think he's a good fit. I think he's a good 3-4. And with Marvin Williams getting older, with Frank Kaminsky not really being healthy and available or good, I think that he could really be a wing player and kind of like the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
He took Miles Bridges, but that doesn't mean Miles Bridges is bad or is not going to get playing time. You can also play PJ Washington at the same time, and this is a team that is now led by James Borrego. They're most likely going to bring Kemba back if they offer him as much money as he's worth.
Supermax.
And Kemba most likely will accept that. So having those players, I think, would be huge for that team, and I'm gonna put PJ Washington out there on the board for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's keep it going too, because I don't think people want to hear me talk too much. Let's go to the Heat at 13. Phone lines are open for them. Anyone want to make a deal with the Heat?
No.
Not really.
I'm holding out hope here.
For who?
All my teams.
Who are you hoping?
All my teams. I'm not giving up any details. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
You kidding me?
This is a horrible video. What are you trying to...
Dave's the one with the most picks. I've got the Magic don't want to move, the Jazz don't want to move, and definitely the Bucks and Warriors don't have enough to move.
I'm typical Celtics. I'll give you 7 first rounders to move up one spot. Nope. It's off the board. You guys wouldn't get. I don't understand why they wouldn't take that deal. Like the Heat are crazy for not taking 7 first-rounders from the Celtics.
Fucking Danny Ainge.
All right. So on the board for me, we got Bol, Romeo, Kevin Porter, KZ Okpala, Jackson Hayes, and Nasir Little. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a tough one. What in your mind? Heat. I mean, they have such a well-rounded team of veterans, and they've got mixed in a couple of younger players in there. What position do you think you're really trying to focus in at? You're just trying to add some depth.
Well, that's the thing is they're very, very well rounded. They're not really a gaping hole on that team.
I mean, in my mind, I'm looking at it, and Goran's on his last year of his contract, and then you've got Justice Winslow. There's no point guards available in this class. Mm-hmm. So does it force a trade? Do you lean into a trade? Available. No, so, I'm saying trading for a established point guard, perhaps.
Do you have one in mind?
No, I'm just tossing out things.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Dave?
Trying to lead you.
Bol is just there because of the potential, and I think then you look at the 2 guard because yes, a point guard isn't available, but Justice was fine in that role. Yep. He wasn't spectacular. I think it was just cool to see him do something. Bol is now in Miami Heat.
I hate you a little.
We talked about Hassan Whiteside's possible upcoming contract, and the potential I think is too much for Pat Riley to pass up. So I'm going Bol for the Miami Heat at 13.
I hate you. That's what the Celtics wanted, and I think that you knew that because it was me.
Yeah, a little bit, and I kind of want to stick it to you for being a dick with the trades. So.
Yeah, what I was the only one who came up with the trade.
You said trade for a point guard, and I said for who, and you said I don't know.
Yeah.
So why'd you throw it out there, Dave?
I don't know.
Should have kept your mouth shut. You could have Bol. Who are you picking at 14 for the Celtics?
Celtics are looking at 2 guys, either Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Kevin Porter Jr. I have a fear about Kevin Porter Jr., and I am so tempted to take him here, but I think I'm going to play it safe with the Celtics and take Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm going for a guy who can play 1 or 2. I think with the unsurety of Kyrie Irving and Terry Rozier spouting off to the public and the media and everybody else who will listen, I'm trying to get somebody in there who solid defender, solid shooter, solid playmaker. All around, he's going to fit right in on this team. He seems like a great team player, played for a great team in college. I like him.
All right, cool. Any objections?
No. I mean, for me, as the Magic, it now changes up what I was going to do because Nickeil was kind of a guy that I was kind of looking at with Kevin Porter Jr. and Romeo Langford. So now it takes him out of the discussion. And now for the Magic, I'm looking only between 2 players instead of 3.
Yeah, I think the Wizards are a little pissed off, too, that Bobo didn't follow him because, fuck, if they could have got Bobo at 15, that would have been something interesting.
Yeah.
But they are now on the clock. They took Troy Brown Jr. last year, who was a 3. Interesting player. They have a 1. There's no 1s available anyways. John Wall has a massive contract. Bradley Beal at the 2. Thomas Bryant's a pretty decent 5 out there. So I'm going to go after a player with a ton of potential. And since Thomas Bryant is solid, although he is a little bit undersized, I don't know about the shooting, though.
There's a lot of names.
I was thinking about Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. It's how much do you love Thomas Bryant shooting? Because he's an okay player.
Yeah.
His shooting makes him interesting. Jackson Hayes, you got the traditional rim runner, shot blocker. I mean, which pairing do you think works best for the rebuilding ? Wizards?
Or do you go with the splash? And yes, you already have a 2 guard in Bradley Beal, but John Wall, we're not sure when he's going to come back.
You could also use someone who can stretch over to the 3 as well.
What's that?
I mean, someone who can stretch over to the 3 as well, because you did move Otto Porter. And we all know Jabari Parker cannot play the 3.
Brandon Clark's available
if they re-sign him. That sounds...
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I was like, he fell.
But then I was also like Nasir Little.
He fell. Yep.
Nasir Little might be a good value pick at this one.
A lot of guys could be a good value pick at this one.
And Kevin Porter Jr. too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
There's a lot
potential.
Yep.
KZ. That'd be fun. Shit. I hate this job. I don't want to be a GM. Don't call me. Fuck. All right, what's the chat saying? Let's see.
Deferring to chat.
I'm seeing here.
Conley for Hayward at 14. No, you guys are way off on timelines. No, just no.
Hey, just signed Tyreek Evans. Thanks, Jake, for that.
Hilarious.
All right. It looks like no one's helping me out here.
No.
I'm on my own.
No, the Wizards pick.
Is this what Ernie Grunfeld felt like? Fuck! Ah!
Make the Ernie pick. I know he's not there anymore, but make the Ernie pick.
You can't have too many wings. Nasir Little.
Whoo! Lock it in, boys. Nasir Little. Sean, we forced you to take him after all.
Didn't you pick him in the top 9 with the top 10 with the Wizards last time?
The Hawks.
He took him 10th with the Hawks last time.
And now he's taking him with the Wizards. At least it's not top 10.
Yep.
I'm intrigued by him. The more I see from him in the combine, it's literally a dude in a gym against a chair, but it's exciting. And he was so highly ranked coming out of high school, and the defensive potential's there, and possibly the 3-point shots there, because he was a decent free throw shooter, I think, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that was a decent free throw shooter. He was decent from the line, because he shot like 77%. I'm interested in him. I want to know what the problem was. And Scott Brooks is not the guy to coach him, but hopefully he's not there for a long time. And that's really the thing that sticks out to me. And if you compare his numbers, to players that are in the league, Kelly Oubre comes out there. And Oubre was a former Wizard. And Oubre wasn't great in Washington, but, maybe if you get a second
Oubre also had some basketball IQ issues, to put it nicely.
But there's questions with that with Nasir, too. OG Anunoby is a comp, too. And Anunoby, we saw what his defense did immediately.
Yeah.
It's potential.
Right.
It's all about potential.
Swing for the fences. You're the Wizards.
I traded back, and we
you
still
have
got the
another value
2021st.
pick.
Yeah, we got the 2020 first round unprotected. So you got value, you got potential. Let's go with the Wizards.
All right.
Nasir Little.
Ricky, that means the Magic are on the board.
Was he one of your two guys?
No.
Okay.
No,
he's not.
He's going Wang.
He's
going
two.
two guard.
Yeah.
See, now I'm interested because I'm thinking of two guards, but there are two guys that are falling in our draft. Well, one is falling. The other is falling for me because I have them higher on my big board.
Clark and Rui.
The two Zaga guys are falling.
Yep.
Especially Brandon Clark. Like, someone's going to have to trade up for him eventually.
Nope.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Kevin Porter Jr. here, though, for the Magic.
Great
because
pick.
I thought about Brandon Clark's off the table because even if you think he's a 4, I've got enough of those.
You got so many bigs.
But at the 3, I know I've got Frazier, but it's like the 2, Terrence Ross and what? You looking at me weird?
Yeah,
Melvin Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the 3, you also have
one do.
No, Josh Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac.
Oh,
Jesus
John,
Christ, Josh
they have him
Isaac.
here as
Isaac.
they have him here as a power forward.
Yeah,
so
well,
same
he's 7
thing.
feet tall with
I
like
know.
a 7'6" wingspan or
So
something stupid
basically,
at this point.
I'm looking at the Supernova is a free agent this year. Am I going to re-sign him? Fournier is obviously here under contract. I'm just going to go with that 2 guard and maybe not re-sign the Supernova of offense this
That'd be a
offseason.
mistake.
Because I'm going with Kevin Porter Jr. Why would I need 3 2 guards, Dave?
That'd be a mistake because Terrence Ross plays a 3
And
as well.
Markel's going to play this year, hopefully.
That's the thing. I am so intrigued by the
Hopefully.
prospect of Markelle Fultz and Kevin Porter Jr. out there at the 1 and the 2. And look, don't get me wrong. I know Fournier is a better player than Kevin Porter Jr. is right now, but I'm fantasy booking right now. That young team of Markelle Fultz, Kevin Porter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, and Mohamed Bamba. Are you kidding me? I'm playing that in 2K tomorrow.
Dave,
Like that's.
You better check the chat because they're bashing Harry Giles.
Oh, get the who am I banning out of chat right now?
Just throwing it out there. They're talking about knees. They're talking about knees, and he's thrown out there. Yeah, it's an interesting pick. I think Kevin Porter Jr. makes sense. If they got to go 2 guard. Fournier might not be there, and it's really the choice whether you're going Romeo Langford or Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr.'s got a fucking iffy shot. So that's the thing that, like, his actual shooting motions are jacked. And maybe Romeo's were jacked too because of the thumb. So at least I have a good excuse for Romeo as saying that his thumb was hurt. So that's why he was a bad shooter.
That's
and
fair.
Kevin Porter Jr. just has a bad stroke anyways. Dave, you're on the board now with the Nets with 17.
Yeah, it's not even a brainer here. I'm taking Brandon Clark with this one. It's perfect. It's perfect for the Nets. It's everything they wanted. Can't believe he fell this far if I'm the Nets, but it works out that way sometimes. Life's funny. And I'm loving this situation because I'm, this offseason is we can give D'Lo a bunch of money. We can give Kyrie Irving a bunch of money. We can give Kevin Durant a bunch of money. And we're adding in one of the most productive players in college basketball this past year. And guess what? If he continues to grow and add a shot, he is thoroughly dangerous.
Fucking Rudy Gay, man.
He could be fucking Rudy Gay, man. He is such a good catch and shoot 3-point shooter that I think people underrate that ability.
Who, Brandon Clark?
Yeah, no, I know he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not.
He could be though.
That's the one thing.
He could
but hey, look at the Nets. The Nets have developed so much great talent.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Maybe
that
that's
the
a
Nets
good
is
spot
an organization. The one good thing that came out of that trade with the Celtics, where they just gutted their future prospects, was they had to rethink the way that they were building a team, and they really did a great job putting together a core of these young kids. I mean, taking second shots on guys coming in the G League. Spencer Dinwiddie obviously paid his dues and is amazing. Got a contract locked up long term.
Shout out Sean Marks. Shout out Kenny Atkinson. Dave, you're back on the board. 19 for the Pacers.
Yep. Gotta go back-to-back Gonzagas here. I'm going with Rui.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Because I don't know that Bojan Bogdanovic will be re-signable because I think someone's going to throw a lot of money at him. And I think that they're trying...
For good reason. He's good. Rui's not.
Rui can be good.
Nope.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think Rui's going to be a pretty good player.
I think Rui can be pretty good.
Then why don't you pick him, Ricky?
Because honestly, I'm pissed off here if I'm the Jazz.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect the Nets or the Pacers to make their pick so quickly.
I mean, look.
But number two,
I literally have it written.
I've been looking, Dave.
Oh, Ricky's cheating on my rankings.
After you made the Brandon Clark, I'm like, oh, Dave just has his pick sitting there.
I've got my big boards
The Jazz,
for each team.
That's what I was trying to do, trade up for that power forward. And when I saw Brandon Clark falling, I was like, okay, I think I'd have to give up too much to the Nets. I was really looking for the Spurs as that sweet spot. I was hoping one of them would fall to the Spurs. I'd offer the Spurs maybe a pick swap this year and a second next year, or a pick swap this year and a first in 2021 to try to move up and get that power forward. But now if I'm the Jazz, I kind of got to rethink everything because those were the two guys I was going to trade up for.
Yeah, I think that this team, you've already got your last couple of picks are sitting there on the board still with Aaron Holiday, who was the third on the depth chart last year. Kind of disappointing. So I was thinking you either need a backup shooting guard because obviously the reek happened and Victor Oladipo's injury. So you could go for a 2-guard there. And I don't just, on our board right now, I might be tempted to take a flyer on Romeo at this point. I think that would be a fine pick, but I'm higher on Rui's upside. I think the Pacers, even if they do re-sign Bojan, I think Rui on the Pacers works out well. You've got one more year of Sabonis and Turner together. If you want to go long-term on Sabonis, I don't know. That pairing hasn't been amazing, but it hasn't been terrible either. So I don't know. They're in an interesting position contract-wise for the future, what they do with those two.
Celtics interested in trade for the Spurs pick?
Am I jumping up?
Ring.
Oh.
Ring.
Oh, shit.
You've got a call on the other line.
No, I'm talking to the Celtics.
Okay, I'm just saying, call waiting. I'm on the other line waiting.
What would it take to move up? Obviously, we'd be swapping, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll flip both picks.
19 for 2022?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah. What do you think?
That's a steep fucking price.
You guys got picks.
That's too much.
You guys
for
get
me.
your guy.
Nope.
What if I take your guy?
Who's my guy?
I don't know. What if I take him, though? What if I take your guy?
Not even gonna pick up the phone.
I'm
to see us on the
talking
other
to my
line.
friend right now.
I'm talking here.
All right, what do you want?
So the Jazz are calling.
Okay.
We'll give you a pick swap this year and our first in 2021.
Protected,
Okay,
unprotected.
Unprotected, because we're going to be a playoff team.
23rd pick for the 29th pick.
So we pick swap this year. The pick you're on now, the 19th for the 19th for the 23rd, and then our first in 2021. I'll say top 10 protected, but we're not going to be in the top 10.
I might be able to one up that one.
Who?
As the Celtics.
What do you want?
I don't actually know. I'm just I'm in
Just because you're going to one up it
It's a bidding war.
Don't call me if you're not going to one up it.
It's a bidding war.
So bid something.
I will give you. We'll pick swap. I'll let you drop back one pick.
Okay.
I will give you a. I'm gonna cheat and say Ricky pull up the draft picks. I totally did not do this.
You want the Celtics?
Oh, I'm bidding against you now.
Oh,
so
I got
no.
you.
He's
I
not
got
even
you.
pulling
No, I'll
up.
help you out. I'll help you
Yeah.
out.
See anything you like over there, big guy?
Hey, don't insult my weight. What a horrible way to bargain with somebody, dick.
Did not mean it that way, but if you take it that way, okay.
Spurs say fuck you both.
Okay.
Unplug the phone. Pick KZ Okpala.
Oh, okay.
Was that any of the guys? Was
No.
that who you're going after? Was that who you're going after?
No.
No.
Okay. Fuck
I
that
feel
up.
like Dave
I
and
was
I are
gambling
going
because I
after
thought
the
that's who he
same
was going
person.
with. I thought he was going to go with a wing.
Nope.
Because you said you wanted Hachimura for the Jazz.
Yeah, I was
and
thinking
I was like,
more
all right,
like-
he's a three. He's a wing. He's
Yeah,
a
but
three.
there's people that are thinking he could play the 4. That's why Brandon Clark was the first one I was really trying for with the Jazz.
But with the Spurs
I love KZ.
and Okpala, that's the
Is
thing
that who you were going for?
That was one I was considering, but not going to go for.
And I hate to do
It's
it
the
to him.
departure of.
It's the departure.
Fucking Rudy Gay, man. Shit.
Yeah.
It's sad to see him go, but KZ Okpala is such an intriguing player, and
Yep.
to give him to Greg Popovich would just be something to be fantastic to see.
Someone with his wingspan, his ball handling abilities,
Exactly.
the ability
His-
to create for himself.
Just potential. I mean, you could work on him, and we saw what DeJounte Murray was able to come into. I didn't think DeJounte Murray would be that good defensively, and we saw what if he has that wingspan and athleticism, he might be able to be turned into a great defensive player. And if he has ball handling skills at 6'9", well, shit, you just need a shot, son, and you might be on your way to being a skinny-ass Kawhi Leonard. Obviously kidding, because that's way too high praises. But West Coast kids. But I think at least in the Spurs idea, you're getting a kid that's very moldable with great body, with a great body and great skills already. He's got ball handling skills at 6'9", and you look at that potential, at least body-wise, defensively, and that's something that's definitely intriguing to him. And he's not that great of a three-point shooter, so he can be hidden in their offense, which I think immediately will help him because he can create for himself and others, and he is a willing passer. So I think KZ Okpala fits immediately, and it just really, if they build on him, what he can become, I think KZ Okpala is definitely a great fit for the Spurs. Dave, you're on the clock at 20 with the Celtics.
This is a tough one, actually, because I feel like I've got a couple options. A couple guys fell. Jackson Hayes and Romeo Langford are two guys I'm considering right now. Jackson Hayes, I wonder how much overlap there is with the Time Lord. I think that that one is tempting because Al Horford going to be coming up end of his contract sooner rather than later. And he mentioned, first up he wants to win a ring, which means if the Celtics aren't going to be in position to do that, he might move. So the whole Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving thing, another layer of stress is added on to that, emphasizing his need and timing. Shot blocker like him would be really nice because if I'm in the East, you got to go up against Joel Embiid. That's the big thing now. So you have to have someone who can body him up, and it's going to take a couple years for someone like Jackson Hayes to be able to pick a fight, and keep even with him. So I'm tempted to just go Romeo Langford then, because can you have enough shooting? Can you? Can you really? I'm gonna go to chat and keep stalling. They'll take Hayes here. Thanks, Kyle Craig.
What's that?
Going with
I'm gonna take Jackson Hayes here.
All right. So Jackson Hayes goes off the board at 20. Kind of a fall for him. Are you guys surprised by this?
I mean, for me, not really, but I'm not super high on the center position anyways. And out of the 3, he is the 3rd ranked out of my 3, with Bol Bol being 1, Goga being 2, and then Jackson Hayes being 3.
Big chat, you say Romeo easily, but I just don't know because they've got a
got another
log jam.
pick.
They've got a log jam.
Well, you just took at the last
took
pick Nicky
Nickeil.
Alexander-Walker.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
Can you drop
already.
the link one more time in chat?
Yeah,
the,
for sure. I think
I got
people have already been
dope.
put up, but yeah, it's so Dave just picked 20 for the Celtics, their first of their second of the third. Going with Jackson Hayes. I think that's the thing though, is you just pick Nicky Alexander-Walker, and that's why you're not going with Romeo Langford.
Yeah.
Right? And you're still available at 22 possibly.
He is.
So
Honestly, that sounds
he could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
I kind of gave it away though, because the Thunder are on the clock. Any trade?
Ring.
What do you want?
The Jazz are calling.
Okay.
We'll offer pick swap here, and then I'll give you 2 seconds in 2021 and 2022. The San Antonio second in 2022.
So you'll give me 2 seconds, one in 2021, one in 2022.
And the one in 2022 will be the Spurs second round pick.
And what number? Oh, so it's
So it'll be a
pick swap.
pick swap, and then 2 seconds.
2021 is the Spurs.
2022 is the Spurs.
2021
2021 is my own.
Second round. All right, deal.
And the Jazz are going to easily take Grant Williams. And the reason why we're going to do this... No. There's a reason why...
for Grant Williams?
Yeah, there's a reason. Because I tried to trade above the Celtics before because I thought they were going to take
He
them.
already looked at my big board.
And
That's why he knows.
It's another thing of I need a power forward.
He's cheating.
So I needed it. And
He's
I got an
cheating.
inside advantage. Don't care how I got it.
idiots.
But I needed it to get it so the Celtics couldn't. And now they need to rearrange their draft plans because the Jazz, they got what they want.
You know what? That's fine.
Yeah, it was such a bad trade for both of you.
For both of us. How do I get screwed out of that?
Because you didn't get your guy.
He was one of my 4 listed guys.
All right, who are you taking?
See, here's the thing. I want to just go back to no cap. Yeah. I want to just fuck with you here and take your boy Naz Reid.
Not taking him.
But
I'm not taking him. I don't care.
This is where Dave makes a spiteful
the
pick
Thunder don't
that
need
has
him.
I've
nothing
got
to
3
do
picks.
The Thunder don't need him.
They absolutely do need him. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go back to the well and take Romeo. I'm taking upside. I'm taking the guy who has good body, good wingspan, coming off of a hand surgery that hopefully fixes the question mark shot that happened to him in college. We saw the upside in high school. We saw a couple peaks in college, but for the most part, it was a meh season. But I'm just gonna go here, and I'm gonna go for it. That's fine with me.
All right, hold on. Let me update the whole board so everyone's up to date because I think I'm the only one doing this.
You are. I'm not.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate all the help.
Oh,
fuck,
absolutely.
Flip that one the wrong way. Got to flip the text. So, Dave, just run it down to where you are now, pick-wise, just so people can catch up, even if they're not looking at the thing.
Okay, the picks are.
Because they might just have us on in the
At
background.
number 1, Ricky as the Pelicans took Zion Williamson. At 2, I as the Grizzlies took Ja Morant. At 3, Ricky as the Knicks took RJ Barrett. At 4, I as the Lakers took Darius Garland. Pretty smart move. At 5, Sean as the Cavs took Cam Reddish. At 6, I as the Suns took Kobe White. At 7, Ricky as the Bulls took Jarrett Culver. At 8, Sean as the Hawks took Sekou Demboya. At 9, there was a trade up. The Wizards traded their pick swap this year and a future pick for the 9th pick, which was DeAndre Hunter. At 10, Sean as the Hawks took Goga Bitadze. At 11, Sean as the 76ers, because he traded up for the T-Wolves. He took Tyler Hero, which ended up as a pick swap 11 to 24, the 34th, the 42nd, and a 2022 lottery-protected first to Minnesota. At number 12, Sean as the Hornets took PJ Washington. At 13, Sean as the Heat took Bull, you jerk ass. At 14, myself as the Celtics, through the Kings pick, took Nickeil Alexander-Walker. At 15, Sean, with that traded Wizards pick, took his boy, Homer, Nasir Little. Sean, I don't understand the overwhelming love for Nasir Little. Ricky at 16 as the Magic took Kevin Porter Jr. Myself as the Nets at 17 took Brandon Clark. Then at 18 at the Pacers, I took Rui Hachimura. 19, Sean as the Spurs took KZ Okpala. 20, myself as the Celtics, Jackson Hayes. 21, Ricky, Jazz, via the Thunder, via a hilarious trade-up for a pick swap this year, and 2 seconds, Grant Williams. And then myself, finally, as the Celtics, took Romeo Langford.
And here's the thing that I want to throw out there. This is come from Kyle. Remember when the Sixers traded the entire draft for Tyler Hero? Yeah, it was a great move. That's a Colangelo move, not an Elton Brand move. I feel like that's the exact opposite.
I don't know.
Elton Brand's the one that's making moves. Elton Brand's the one trading for Jimmy Butler. He's the one trading for Tobias Harris. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but at the same time, draft day stuff, I don't know. Colangelo's... I don't know. You may be right.
All right. Let's now go to the 23rd pick. Thunder via the Jazz. Of course I'm fucking taking this,
Naz Reid.
Naz Reid. Come on. Why would I not take Naz Reid?
I've been mocking this
for four mocks.
Yep.
And I just traded down. I got 2 seconds. Fuck yeah. Naz Reid's a goddamn Thunder.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin your night. I don't want to piss in your Cheerios, you know?
I knew you were going to take him. You weren't going to take him. Why were you going to take him? You just took
2
Jackson
shooting
Hayes.
guards and a center.
Yeah, you just took Jackson Hayes.
Yep.
So there's no way you're going to take him again. Come on, you have Aaron Baines. It's like
If
half
Aaron
a
Baines
Naz Reid.
resigns, someone's got to throw him money.
That's like half a Naz Reid.
It's like... it's a more physical, giving a shit on defense Naz Reid.
Yeah. All right, so Naz reads the pick for the Thunder. Ricky, you're on the clock now with the T-Wolves. You got this pick via the 76ers. It was a pick swap, 11 through 24. You got the 34th, 42nd, 2 seconds this year, and then a 2022 lotto protected first. Who you picking?
Yeah, the T-Wolves are going to go with Luka here, and not Luka Doncic, Luka Semenek. And the main reason is we made the trade earlier on because of that future first, because of the seconds that we're also going to get. We were going to go power forward, and yes, would Brandon Clark be a better power forward than what we're getting in Luka? Maybe, but we're still getting a really good player here while getting more draft picks to help out this team.
All right.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that logic at this point in the draft. Luka definitely helped his stock out at the combine. We talked about that. The 5-on-5s was huge for him. So I think it's interesting considering who you've got currently.
Yeah, and I think the T-Wolves, too, is I don't think they have great depth, and that trade, Luka might not play right away, but even that trade, you got 2 second-round picks, and you might be able to get guys who have been in college for a while and might not be stars in any way, but could be good bench players. Because you look at that starting lineup, the starting lineup's already filled out. Jeff Teague, Andrew Wiggins, Rocco, Dario, Cat.
Can I just go with the lazy question of what's the difference between a Dario and a Luka?
One's younger, and one's cheaper. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think that Luka showed that he's quicker.
Yeah.
He might not be as skilled as Dario. Dario's uber skilled, and that's the reason why I think he went so highly in his draft. Luka seems pretty bouncy for at least maybe compared to like a Dragon Bender or compared to Dario Saric.
Yeah.
He's pretty bouncy. So I think that's something that they do separate themselves. And I think Luka's more raw than Dario is. But I'm also not really remembering prospect Dario. I'm more remembering,
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It was like, how long till Dario's never coming over,
Yeah. I'm thinking like, what?
He came over, he
2
had
years
soft
ago?
hands, polished passer, you know, and in a solid shooter. I think Luka, you're right.
Luka's got a decent stroke.
Yep.
I don't think he's got the passing on him, but he's decent with backdoor cuts.
And he's got a couple years.
Yeah, and he's also playing in completely different offenses.
That's my question. Is like, does this really solve their weak defense in the low post? And I wonder about that.
Shout out to Spencer Life 111. It's 100% true. Naz Reid is like KD, Shaq, Jason Williams, and Ronald McDonald.
Go ahead and read his most recent comment, though.
Yep. It's just the black Doncic, which I don't get because they're both white. But anyways, let's not reminisce about the good old days of the process. Dave, who was the first player that played in the process? Who was like the first player from the process that actually made it?
I mean, it's Robert Covington.
Okay.
In my mind, am I wrong? Jake will have to correct me on this. But I feel like Robert Covington was like we picked you up off the trash heap and we're gonna shove minutes at you and force feed you. And he's actually I
just want to throw it out there just because he was saying let's not reminisce about the process.
Oh yeah, we could
reminisce about the process.
I mean, we could talk about him. We could talk about their amazing trade for getting rid of their rookie of the year. I mean, not many teams do that. Mm-hmm. But when he can't shoot, and then we find out he can't actually play basketball, yikes.
Shout out to the KJ McDaniels reference in Twitch. Let's now move to the 25th pick. Cavs via the Rockets are on the clock. Phone lines are open for the Cavs. Recently just took Cam Reddish, the 5th pick. We can take some calls. Anyone giving us a ring? It's a deep sigh.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm digging through my team listing here.
Because I've only got the Warriors and the Bucks left, and the Bucks are thinking.
They may
about
trade
it.
They may trade out of this year's first round, and maybe want their futures.
The Bucks are thinking about it. Would you do? This is Milwaukee. A pick swap, and then a 2022 second.
No.
Okay.
Thank you for the offer, though. Dave, you got an offer.
See, the problem is I'm trying to make something happen for the Rockets here.
Okay.
But
do you want your pick back?
I may, but I also may want to move some superstars. And in the process of trading that pick.
You giving up Clint Capella?
I may. I'm trying to think about the numbers and what would work. Capella's young. Capella's got a good contract. He's efficient. Kevin Love scares me with his injuries. Is a problem. Well, I'm just trying to match contracts in my head now.
Capella's going to be 14.8 for 2019.
Yeah, he's
But
too
if
cheap.
he's coming up soon, right?
What?
He's coming up soon. Did you say 2018?
2019.
No, he
No,
is. He's long term.
he's signed.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, they re-upped him. That's right.
He's going to be a free agent in 2023 with no player op.
Yep. No, I think you know what? It's too complicated. I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna go for basically mini PJ Washington again, or not PJ Washington.
PJ Tucker.
Mini PJ Tucker.
And who?
THT.
Okay, so someone said take Dort, and I'm not too high on Dort. Dort's an
a
interesting
good
player.
single defender.
But here's the thing: is you have David Nwaba on that team.
Yeah.
and that's
He's-
Lugan Stort. If you're looking at David Nwaba, you're looking at Lugan Stort. Same player.
Nuaba's like 4 people on defense at times.
Yeah,
He's
so
insane.
I don't think you really need that. But what Nwaba and Lugan Stort are literally Mr. Stretch. Like, this guy is, if you put your arms on one of those boards and then try to stretch your arms out, like, or you try to get bigger, you know, like
Yeah.
the whole medieval stretching device. Talon Horton Tucker's if it worked. And try to like lengthen your wingspan. That's
They
it
just forgot
if
to do
it
the
worked.
height, you
Exactly. They shrunk him. So the guys that I think that I'm mulling over here are Horton Tucker. I'm looking at Daniel Gafford too. Because
Yeah.
we talked about rim running centers, Clint Capella. I think that could be an interesting pick.
Yeah.
The thing though is like we don't have a second rounder. So I'm kind of like,
You're trying to get some value back.
well, we don't have a second rounder, so I'm like, well, maybe we do need to go Gafford because it might be more of a need, but we still have Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson's pretty cheap. We don't have any expensive. We
If
also
only
have
there
Larry
was like a
Nance.
team with a handful of seconds that could have traded up instead of just blowing the load all at once.
I don't regret it.
Honestly, the Hawks have like 3. So
could you
if you want to intermingle,
could you propose a trade as the Hawks to me?
so the Hawks have 35, 41, and 44.
What do the Hawks need though?
That's the thing, because so far this draft, the Hawks have taken 2 Euros, correct? Mm-hmm. They've got Goga as a center, and they got Sekou at the 3-4. At this point, you know, I don't know. THT's high on a lot of people's boards. I think another guy who has been consistently up there as well is what the fuck's his name? It's killing me. Cam Johnson. And I just don't know that Cam Johnson. I
That's
think
who the Bucks were going to trade up for, by the way.
well, that I think honestly on the Hawks, Cam Johnson would be a great fit. Additional shooting. He's an older player. Comes in ready to go. I just don't. I mean, like older is a thing. Like that's the knock against him. But at the same time, like, look, you want a wing out there who can shoot from 3 confidently. Every time Trey needs a bailout shooter, he's the perfect guy.
But the thing that I wonder with that is, is there the possibility of Cam Johnson just falling?
Yeah,
Because
there
at
absolutely is.
you're at 35, and then even if you don't get him, you have Dylan Windler, who is in the similar.
he's a good shooter,
similar mold
for sure. No,
Going Talon Horton Tucker.
yeah.
Talon Horton
I think
Tucker is
it's
a
the
pick
right
for the Cavs here at 25. Dave, you're on the board now with the Trailblazers.
I am 100% thrilled right now as a Trailblazer fan.
Who are you
Because
going after?
I'm going after my boy Chuma. I'm getting Chuma KK. I know the injury sucks. I don't care. I love him as a talented young kid. I think he is 20 right now. I think he'll be 21 right when the season starts, or right around there. And he's
20.8 years.
Yeah, so
yeah,
right
he's
around
coming
there. Good size. I think he's 6'8" with like a 7'1" wingspan. Didn't measure, so we gotta find that one out. But that's the thing is, it's the recovery. But look, those injuries, they're not so bad anymore. They're not career enders. They're not really going to debilitate him career long. He is, unlike when I misspoke earlier, he is a good catch and shoot 3-point player. So he can do that. He's got bounce in his step. He's got great defense. He's an amazing rebounder, which is good for them. I love the idea of him being out there on the Blazers.
All right. Dave, you're up again. Nets are on the board.
Yep.
Ring.
Oh.
Just throwing this out there. See if you'll take it.
Yeah.
The Bucks, pick swap, and the 2022 second rounder that I offered to the Cavs.
Ring. The Kings want to offer you two 2020 second round picks. They also want to offer you their second round pick as well, which is at 40. And then they also want to throw in another 2021 pick, second round pick, which is the Grizzlies. So 4 second rounders.
4 second rounders.
Or a pick swap and a second?
It is.
What was yours? Pick
Mine
swap and a
was
second?
pick swap and a 2022 second because that's what I've got available.
And yours, I would be dropping all the way down to 40.
40.
And then I would get the 47 this year as well. The 60 this year. No?
No.
Oh, you're saying those
I only have
are
one
futures?
pick.
The Kings?
Oh, I have 2. Okay.
They
No.
have 3.
They do?
They have 60. They have 47.
Yeah, no,
and they have 40.
I'll give you 40.
But
from this
what
year.
about cash consideration?
I'll give you.
Ooh, shit, son.
I'll give
That's
you.
what Kyle said.
I'll give you 40 from this year, and then I'll give you 2 2020 seconds, and then I will give you
Katie is the scaly.
the Grizzlies
Nazarene.
2021 second round pick.
You know, I'm not feeling it.
Fuck.
I'm not feeling it. It's funny though. I don't know who you're going for, but I'm like 50-50 right now between the free safety or Keldon Johnson, Matisse Thybulle or Keldon Johnson in my mind
gotcha.
is who I'm going with here. And I don't know if that it probably wasn't who you guys were going after, which is fine. Cam Johnson thought about it.
Mine was
Schma-
be Keldon Johnson.
That's what I'm saying. It's Keldon or Matisse, and I think
Well, you
that
said Cam.
no,
You said Cam Johnson.
I meant
Keldon.
Keldon the first time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said Cam the second time.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
All 3 of them.
Okay.
I'm taking 3 players with 1 pick. No. Yeah, I'm truly like, I think Matisse Thybulle has awesome defense. I think the question is how much of that was helped by the fact that he played zone defense in that final year of college. He was a good defender. Is he an amazing defender?
Always a good defender.
But is he amazing? Is
Yes.
he Roberson level good?
Yes. He is. He's always been that way.
But Keldon Johnson is a 3-and-D prototype, yo.
Yeah, but I'm saying to the people who are like, oh,
Yeah.
Matisse Thybulle is only a great defender because he played in his own defense. That's straight up bullshit. He's been a great defender for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So you're getting a great defender. It's just the battle between do you want someone who could also help you offensively because he cannot.
Yeah. Even though in percentage-wise he wasn't bad, but yeah, no. I'm going to go with Keldon Johnson here.
A straight up great. Oh, you went Keldon?
Yep.
I thought you went Matisse.
No, he didn't make his pick yet.
You flipped me out. Someone said Matisse Thybulle is an Egyptian Tony Allen, which is a great comp. Ricky, Warriors are up on the board.
Now, the Warriors got a decision to make, and I am going to go to chat for this. I think it's going to be an easy decision for chat.
There's no white guy.
is.
I just like the second guy I'm looking at.
There's no Kevin Herter available.
Either do they go with Cam Johnson,
Yeah.
senior out of North Carolina,
100%.
or do they go with the senior out of Belmont, Dylan Windler? Who I like Windler because they'll be losing Kevin Durant. He's bye-bye. And Windler shoots the 3, check. Gets rebounds, check. And plays defense, check. Well, a little bit of D. His defensive plus-minus wasn't great, but like overall can play defense out there.
Pick for you? Can I trade teams with you? Because I, as a person from the outside, as a person from
Beat
the
the
outside,
Bulls. Take Taco Fall.
as a person from the outside, I don't want the Warriors to just take another shooter. All right, I don't. What I want them to do is
Thibault, Claxton. Go ahead.
Nick
No,
Claxton
not
is the
Nick-
interesting
no.
one that Big Chat threw out.
what about Darius? What about him? Because you look at him as a 3. You're possibly losing Andre Iguodala. You're possibly losing Kevin Durant. Go after and get a young prospect, a guy that can move the ball, and Steph and Clay can play off ball. If Draymond, I mean, it's just going to help.
I mean, Steph off ball, whatever, but yeah.
But I'm saying, like, Steph moving around screens, like, he's dangerous.
I got you.
And Darius Bazley has shown his ability to move the ball, and that's just going to fit in the Warriors' offense. And you're getting a young guy who's going to be cheap to build up in the greatest team of all time. And that's with or without KD. You're going to be losing. Whether or not you lose KD, you still have the ability to grow him. I think that he's a very interesting pick for the Warriors. This is like first Bazley.
It's interesting. So
range for him.
So it's between the threes of Bazley, Thibault, because I think it was Kyle in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Said a thing that's true that yes, he can develop a shot, but Ben Simmons can develop a shot. He hasn't yet, so that's
true.
the thing that scares me. So that's why I won't go Thibault. I'm going to go with Dylan Windler. And the reason why is just I feel like he'd be a great fit for this Warrior system and could fit in with these guys as KD goes out the door and enjoys himself in New York.
They just never had a spot-up shooter. Like, Klay isn't just a spot-up shooter. Steph isn't just a spot-up shooter. KD isn't a spot-up shooter. I don't see how a spot-up shooter fits in there.
Because Steph and Klay can do their own thing, and Dylan Windler will be out there, and it'll create spacing, and like that's the thing with
they already have spacing though,
but even more spacing, and then they could worry about maybe replacing DeMarcus Cousins later on.
All right, Sean.
I'm on the board. Fuck. All right, so on my big board left available, Bazley. That's it. Because everyone else is gone.
No Cam Johnson? Is that on your big board?
No, because I only did 26,
Okay.
so you didn't make it. So, and the thing is, you look at the Spurs, they don't shoot threes.
Did he measure in at like 6'9", right?
Cam Johnson?
No, Bazley. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Bazley was 6'9". But I just went with KZ Okpala.
Yep.
Who's literally just more fresher.
He's a longer.
Yeah, Bazley. They're similar. Yep. They're very similar. Is there any phone calls?
You know what? I was looking at that, and I know we're all like,
you
I
know,
don't like anybody here.
You know, my teams that don't have first rounders, the Clippers and the Raptors, are not going to be looking to get into the first round. So I'm going to say no.
It's the Mavs. We don't got the ammos to make more shit happen right now. I'd love to.
Well, I took the Mavs from you, didn't I? No, I gave them to you in the Magic.
You gave
You're
them
right.
to me
You're
because
right.
you stole the Magic pick.
Well, you had 5 in a row.
It's
Don't
sucks
tread
there's
on
no
me, bro.
stretch 4 in this fucking
Range.
just draft.
I mean, it was Luka was at the end. He was the last one. I was thinking actually it was the Grizzlies. About dipping back in for Bazley.
So-
if you were,
So Jake,
What do you want to offer?
that's
Jake,
the problem.
Jake just said if you didn't give up that 2022 first, Sixers could trade to get Cam.
No, I'm not gonna play with it. I'll hold out. If you want him, you can take him.
I don't. I'm not going after Darius.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of their roster construction. I think a stretch 4 would be perfect for them. But then if you take a big, like a 5, could you just move LaMarcus back to the 4?
Is Nick Claxton?
That was the guy I was thinking of. It was him or Gafford.
Yeah, and Claxton's been rising quickly after some great play in 5-on-5s.
Fuck.
I like it. I like the thought at least. I think both rim runners could work, or a rim runner like Gafford could work. I think Claxton has got a lot of upside. I don't know. That one's more of a project pick, so I don't know about, you got a team with a great 2-guard and DeMar DeRozan. You've got LaMarcus Aldridge, perennial all-star. I don't know if that timeline matches up for Nick Claxton to contribute, the Spurs curse of year 2 maybe, It's tough. It's tough, man.
Daniel Gafford. I think he's more solid. I think although he is, Claxton has really rose up. Daniel Gafford was extremely consistent. This guy was a lottery talent last year. I'm gonna go with Daniel Gafford. I think that we're underrating Gafford. I'm gonna go Gafford.
Potentially.
And I will throw out there, Big C Chat says McDaniels. Thoughts?
People won't take him in the first round because of the legal stuff.
Extracurriculars here.
But at the same time, when you read into it, like I don't know what to say about it, so I'm just gonna stay out of it. I think he'll probably get picked up in the second round if teams feel confident enough in his character. But it's gonna take a lot of interviews with the team to make sure like they understand what the current state is and they're okay with him and his character.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Talent's probably there.
If you're talking about just as a player with that size, with his ability to shoot from the outside, with his free throw percentages being in line with being a good shooter, 78%, 73%, so it balances out around 75%. He's definitely an intriguing player, without a doubt. It's just the extras that comes with him, and that stuff is extremely worrying for teams because it's not just like, hey, like, it's not the stupid fucking D'Angelo Russell stuff. And that even got him traded. This is stuff that, he's being sued over, forwarding sex tapes of, I think, unbeknown women being filmed. So it's just like, it's
not
something
our place
that's
to really
definitely-
run into that stuff. But yeah.
It was consensual, which is good. But
I
it
mean-
wasn't. I don't know if it's consensual filming, which is a tricky part. So
Okay.
I think he's a guy that probably second round.
Yeah.
Ricky, you're on the board.
I will. Who did you go with?
Daniel Gafford.
Gafford. That's right. So chat.
It's
I'm
the
gonna
easiest
leave.
thing in the world.
I'm gonna leave this one up to you.
Just trade up for a guy with the Bucks.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm leaning towards Cam Johnson.
Yeah, he's
Chat.
perfect pick.
Convince me otherwise. So if there's someone else that you think the Bucks should take, convince me otherwise. Try to change it, or else it's gonna be Cam Johnson here with the 30th pick. 30th pick.
Yeah.
Claxton.
Chamois Ponds.
No one's
I'm
going
not gonna take
Shamori Ponds.
Ponds.
Get off that St. John's
Tyus
crap.
Battle.
Okay.
Jake's just throwing out St. John's and Syracuse guys.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Cam Ooh, oh shit. Nope. I'm gonna go with Cam Johnson.
Thibault is still left. Yeah.
He is. The Bucks. That's who they were trying to trade up for, and miraculously, I didn't have to.
Yep.
I
That's what I figured.
I didn't think he'd fall all the way to 30. I thought someone was gonna take him. I almost took him with the Warriors, but then I kind of talked myself into the Windler pick. I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I'm surprised he fell. The other one I'm surprised is
Who?
Cam Johnson.
You're surprised. Oh, you're surprised Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I'm surprised he fell. And then the Celtics, second year in a row in our live mock, that they get someone who was like mid to high teens in most mocks, and they get him later in the draft. Last year was the Time Lord with Robert Williams fell in ours. This year it was Romeo.
I like that we
falling all
actually
the way
got
to
that right
22.
still, so I'm just
Yeah. And I think Romeo's just a player that, again, like the potential is there. It's just iffy. We're gonna run down this list again. I'm gonna share it again in the chat, or I think I just did. I think it's the most
Yeah, you
recent thing.
did. Someone did.
Yeah. And that's what I said. Yeah. And Kyle, that's what I said. Like it was consensual sex, but it was not consensual filming or consensual sharing of the films.
Yeah.
So that's the situation with McDaniels. But we're gonna run down the order right now and throw out any
Lewis King, I know.
yeah.
I know he's going to be a second rounder.
Throw out any questions you guys do have while we're going through this. Again, I shared it, so it's the fourth comment right now in the chat. But
Just start
one,
spamming it.
Pelicans taking Zion Williamson. 2, the Grizzlies taking Ja Morant. 3, the Knicks taking R.J. Barrett. 4, the Lakers taking Darius Garland. 5, the Cavs taking Cam Reddish. 6, the Suns taking Kobe White. 7, the Bulls taking Jarrett Culver. 8, the Hawks taking Sekou Demboya. 9, the Pistons traded with the Wizards to take DeAndre Hunter. At 10, the Hawks took Goga Batazde. At 11, the 76ers traded with the T-Wolves to take Tyler Hero. At 12, the Hornets took PJ Washington. At 13, the Heat took Bol Bol. At 14, the Celtics took Nicky Alexander-Walker. At 15, the Wizards via the Pistons in that trade earlier where they had a first-round pick swap, and Detroit sent a 2021 unprotected first to Washington. The Wizards took Nasir Little. At 16, the Magic took Kevin Porter Jr. At 17, the Nets took Brandon Clark. At 18, the Pacers took Rui Hachimura. At 19, the Spurs took KZ Okpala. At 20, the Celtics took Jackson Hayes. At 22, the Jazz via the Thunder took Grant Williams. At 23, the Celtics took Romeo Langford, as we talked about a little bit earlier. At 23, the Thunder via Jazz took Naz Reid. That was a pick swap that you just saw, the 21st for the 23rd, a second-round pick in 2021, and the 2022 second-round San Antonio pick went to the Thunder in that trade. The T-Wolves via the 76ers took Lukas Samanic in that pick. That was a pick swap with the 76ers, 11 for 24. The 34th pick and 42nd pick also went to the T-Wolves, along with a 2022 lotto-protected first-rounder. The Cavs at 25 took Talon Horton-Tucker, guard from Iowa State. 26, the Trailblazers took Chuma Okeke from Auburn. At 27, the Nets took Keldon Johnson. At 28, the Warriors took Dylan Windler. At 29, the Spurs took Daniel Gafford. And at 30, the Bucks took Cam Johnson. What is the chat saying?
The one thing Kyle says, he needs a second round because he needs to know who's going to go at 60. In 2 weeks, Sean, is he going to know about the second round?
He will know because we're going to be doing our second round, a full 2-round mock draft. And Dave will put in random people that he does not know the names of.
That's sort of my jam.
Politicians.
Last year, you got hit up with 3 different politicians, a player from the 1990
Did you have a fictional
Arizona
character, too?
Wildcats. There was one person I made up entirely.
There was a football player on there too, right?
Might have been. There was a lot of BS I pulled in there, and I did not get called out for a lot of it.
One was a female, too.
One was a woman.
Yep. Let's see.
Bruno Fernando is still on the board.
He
Yeah,
is.
Bruno Fernando's still on the board.
dis-
Lewis
Disrespect to
King is
centers.
still on the board.
Lewis King's still on the board.
Matthijs Tybal.
give us your top 5 best available. Then.
Ooh, my top 5 best available will be Lewis
King's-
King,
Yeah.
Thibault, Keldon Johnson.
Keldon's not available.
He's not? Oh,
No.
that's right. He got taken. So Lewis, Thibault, I'll say Bruno.
Bruno's available.
And then that's all I can do off the top of my head. I'll give you the last 2 by looking at it.
All right. I'll go and lead off with Lugens Dort. This is in no specific order. Lugens Dort, Bruno Fernando. I'll throw out Thibault as well. Then I'll put Baisley there, and 5th I will put Lewis King. Dave.
Yeah, I generally agree with you. Bruno and Dort are the interesting ones because a lot of people are mocking them first. I don't disagree. I just think that Bruno screams just another good rebounding center, and I don't think the value is there to take him that high in a draft because you can get guys like that in free agency or second round, whatever it may be. After that, it sort of becomes a shit show. I know a lot of people want Kabengele to be a first-round player. The Celtics have interviewed him twice, which makes me feel like they're going to take a stab at him with their last first-round pick or move up in a direction at the beginning of the second for him. I don't love him as much as they do, but they really seem to like him and his potential. The other guy, I still think Ty Jerome is just a professional. And he has a talent. He's just older.
But doesn't have a great body.
Doesn't have a great body. 6'5", 80 feet of wingspan.
Yeah. You got 2 other players?
I'll say Lewis King, Matthijs Thibault.
Thibault, yeah.
Then say the name that I can't say out of Florida State.
Kabengele.
Kabengele. Then I will have Bruno Fernando and then Isaiah Roby.
All right. And where does Taco Fall rank?
Ooh, Taco Fall 6.
I just drove into my dad's car while watching this. What?
What?
Uh-oh. That's not
That
good.
sounds awful.
Yikes.
I hope you're okay.
Sorry, Spencer Fife.
Yeah, I hope you're good
Don't
too.
drive and watch Twitch.
Diddler said Thibault will go Celtics at 22nd. That's too much of a reach. Kyle throwing out Carson Edwards. He's definitely a second rounder. He's just too small.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And I don't think he even sized up. I don't think he got measured at the
he might
combine.
have ducked that one.
He's very small. So that's the thing that sticks out to us. It's just that. I think he's too small, and I don't think he's that great of a creator for himself. So being that small, not being a great of creator, you're going to get your shit blocked.
I feel like someone's going to take a stab at Jonte Porter. He's got the talent. The kid is so
I was
talented.
thinking about it with the Spurs because I
Yeah.
kept saying stretch 4, stretch
Yep.
4, stretch 4. And I was like, all right, slow ass stretch 5.
Jordan Morris brought up your boy Dave. Jalen Locke.
Leck. Yeah, he's been promised by the Celtics. It looks like late too. He's not first round talent right now. Could he be in a couple of years after he develops? Maybe. You know, he's baby Westbrook. He's got no shot from the outside, but the man takes to the rim with authority.
He's baby Dennis Smith.
Oh, I like that better actually.
Because we were saying Dennis Smith is like Russell Westbrook.
But with an extra like MCL or whatever.
Yeah.
ACL.
Leck is just very raw.
Yeah.
So it's not like Anthony, where Anthony showed that he was a really good scorer in high school.
Anthony had the fucking quickest shot.
Leck is just a fucking
He's
monster.
big, and he's strong, and he's quick.
For a guard.
Yep.
Not Anthony Simmons part 2.
Taco Fall.
Similar situations, but not that. Yeah, we already said Taco Fall's 6th best
Yeah.
available.
Always.
Carson Edwards has his own creator code. What you mean? He doesn't. He's not that quick. He's not that.
I like Carson Edwards. Is he elite? No.
No, but he's not that great of a creator because especially going to the NBA when you're going to be going up against quicker, better, faster, stronger athletes, your step back moves will not work. Your speed will be lesser there, and also your length will be extremely negated by longer guys at your position. And you taking 2 steps extremely fast can be just thwarted with one long stride from one of these players if you're being guarded by him.
With him, it's going to be a developmental project, and it's going to depend on who wants to actually put in the work with him.
I don't think he has Isaiah Thomas speed, and that's the only way he'd work in my mind. That's it. Isaiah Thomas had ridiculous speed. He was put in a very specific offense to make him be great, and I don't know if Carson Edwards would need that to recreate.
I mean, that's also with every player. Like Steph Curry, I mean, if he wasn't on the Warriors, does he develop into the same. Like, yes, the type
absolutely.
of player, but like
He's still an MVP.
Their system is him.
He's still an MVP. Steph Curry was a monster. Always was. Always will be. Steph Curry would have been an MVP.
Kyle
So-
Guy is in the draft, yeah.
So
I won't even ask because it's going to be completely off
What?
topic. If they would have kept Mark Jackson and not Steve Kerr, would he have been an MVP under Mark Jackson?
yes. Steve Kerr didn't. It was one like they fired Mark Jackson, and the next year he was an
Yeah,
MVP.
Steve Kerr
They changed
implemented
their
the
offense, though. And they
He still would have done it.
Okay.
Maybe he wouldn't have taken
Maybe wouldn't have
700
broke
threes.
the record
Yeah.
for being the greatest shooter of all time.
But he still would have been the greatest shooter. Like you can't hide that talent. You're not just going to be like
You
he's
can
it's
if
not
you were
like,
born in the 80s.
But that's true. But he wasn't born in the '80s, Dave.
That look from Dave.
Like maybe Pete Maravich is the
The
greatest shooter.
70s,
Maybe,
you know,
maybe
whatever.
Pete
It's
Maravich
just-
is the greatest shooter of all
The
time.
further back you go,
But still, Steph, that revolution was coming at some point, and Steph would have been there for
I
it.
think Steph actually was born in the 80s. Wasn't he? Steph's
Yeah, Steph would have been born in the '80s,
Yeah,
like
so-
'89 then, right?
No,
He's older than you
younger
guys.
than
He's at
us.
least 30.
I feel like he's right around the same age, or,
I think he's
or a year older.
I'll throw out 80, 88, 89.
yeah, I
80,
feel
88,
like
88.
I feel like time period mattered, but yeah,
But time period.
He was
time
born
period.
88. You're right.
Yeah.
31.
Nice. Time period does matter, but
He was born in Akron, Ohio.
I think that
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys now who like if they'd been born in a different era, different story. So Steph is one of those guys. I mean, I don't think Steve Kerr is the Steph Curry of his generation. There's a difference in the talent level there.
yeah,
you
but
know?
I'm saying like if Maravich was in the NBA now, I think he would probably be similar to Steph.
Yep.
Right. I just think that revolution was coming. Steph would have been around for it.
Yep.
Whether it came a year later or 2 years later, it would have happened. And the Warriors having Jerry West in that front office would have. And then you're going to say like, well, Jerry West. What if Jerry West was in the front office?
Yeah.
Just playing a lot of what ifs. It was a great spot for Steph, but I still think Steph's
Yeah.
talent would have shined. That's pretty much all I'm trying to say.
So guys, who won the draft here?
Yeah, who won the draft? Was it the Pistons trading up to get your boy?
It might have been a slight overpay. If I had done a protected there, I might have felt a little better. But I just am happy. Like the Pistons got their 3. That's it. It's locked up. It's done. I don't have to worry about it. And now 2 through 5, I'm happy. 1, I'm not. I don't love Reggie, but like we can work with him when he's healthy. He was actually a productive player. Just wasn't healthy for half the year, more than half the year almost.
I'll say that I like the Nets. I like the Nets picks. Like
I feel
Kelton.
like I did a good job.
Well, Kelton Johnson
Good job,
is
Dave.
the only like question mark for me. But it's all personal preference.
It was worth the value.
I
though.
just really like that they were able to get Brandon Clark at 17.
yeah, that was
Like,
crazy to me.
and especially like Indiana too, getting Rui at 18.
Because initially
Like,
my
that's
plan
nice.
was to take what was it? I'm sorry. You want to hear me a little bit better.
Yeah.
I want to be comfortable because it's 9 million degrees in this room. My initial plan, I think, with the Nets
Gonna
was
spray you with water.
that would be uncomfortable. I think I was going to go with Romeo Langford at
Kyle-
17 and take Chuma at 28.
Kyle said I won, and then Jordan Morris said Ricky won. He got Zion.
It's true. Congrats, you got that. That was a tough
But
pick
you
for you.
refuse to trade anything else.
I like the Spurs draft, getting Gafford and KZ. I thought that was a good
Yeah,
pick.
I think KZ on the Spurs is just
I just think the Thunder won because not only did they get Naz Reid, they also traded back and got Naz Reid. It's a good pick. It's a great pick. It's the best pick. It's Naz Reid. Let's now move on to any final questions. Throw it out there. If not, Keldon Johnson's not this year's Booker. No.
Nope.
No.
maybe the overpaid Tyler
No.
Hero is this year's Booker.
Maybe, but also no. Absolutely not.
I know.
Absolutely not. No, Devin Booker was such a unique case. I was fighting with this with somebody. I forget who it was, but they were like, "Oh, Cam Reddish is Devin Booker." No, he's not. And they're like, "Yeah, they weren't used correctly." I was like, "Devin Booker wasn't used enough. Cam Reddish was used too much." And you look at Devin Booker's stats, and I would be shocked if you could find somebody who has similar stats to him, and at least with the same amount of usage. He didn't start a single game at
Yep.
Kentucky. He played 21 and a half minutes. He shot 47% from the field, 41% from three, 82.8% from the line, and scored 10 points a game. And if you put that to per 40, that's 18 points per game, pretty much 19. shooting like 7 threes a game. Or sorry, shoot 7 threes a game at 6.9, and just being extremely efficient. He had a true shooting percentage of 60, which is ridiculous. That would be in the NBA like top 5, top 10. He also had an offensive rating of 123. So Devin Booker was literally just not used enough at Kentucky, and I don't think there is a player that you can make that argument this year in the draft.
Not this year, but I mean, if you're tossing out amazing Kentucky players, I mean, maybe he was wrong in the NBA now. Malik Monk, I mean, in college, he put up just shy of 20 points a game,
but he started a
39
shit ton.
from 3. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like
Booker,
amazing.
but people are like, oh.
But he's like the reverse. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is he was used well at Kentucky, and now he's in the NBA, and he can't stay on the court.
Yeah.
He's like the flip side.
That's the thing is, like, he was getting 32 minutes.
Yeah.
He was getting 11 more minutes than Booker. I'm saying, like, with that low of usage, like, all the people that are like, oh, he's X player. Devin Booker is Devin Booker because people slept on his talent because he wasn't seen enough.
Yep.
There is no one like that in this draft. That's it.
It's hard to find right now.
Kevin Porter
unless it's-
Jr.
Maybe it's Kevin Porter Jr. That's
Yeah.
Because
I think that.
he wasn't on the court
But,
enough.
but you look at the efficiency and he's not on the same level with Devin
No.
Booker. So that's
Yeah,
the thing.
I'm just going off of the.
Yeah, no, that's a
haven't
fair
seen
guy
it.
to bring up. And you look at the comparisons, like Lonnie Walker, Joe Harris comes up, Corey Joseph comes up, Daquan Cook, Zach LaVine comes up, at least comparing college stats, and it's like, well, clearly none of those guys are on the level besides Zach LaVine, and that's like the biggest argument: is
Yeah,
Zach
exactly,
LaVine
it
versus
is. Yeah.
Devin Booker.
He scuffed that book. Yeah.
Like the only two off of the haven't seen that I would say is either Kevin Porter Jr. or Darius Baisley, because Darius Baisley didn't go to college, so no one focused on him at all this year because we didn't see him.
Yeah.
But
it's not.
I think Devin Booker
It's
was
still
talking
apples
like
and oranges.
scoring wise.
Yeah.
So and
It's look, everybody's their own unique player. You know, we try to mold these guys after someone who's done it before them as much as possible, but there is no perfect match. You know, nobody is a clone of the other guy. I don't think we've seen that yet in the NBA level. Maybe when LeBron James Jr. comes in.
All right, shout out to Spencer Fife 111 who ends it, and this is how we're gonna end it. Ingles was a corner 3 guy in Australia. Shout out to Jingles. That looks like that's it. Baisley's overrated heavily. You can't overrate him, can't underrate him. Just if you like his body, he's a project. That's it. And he's the best project that's available at that point. It's kind of like the opposite of a drafting stash. If you're gonna draft him, you might play him in the G League. You might have to see how he builds up
He might
body
come off
wise.
the bench,
Yeah.
right away.
He's all potential, and he was a top 5 star recruit, and it's tough to find 5-star recruits that low in the draft.
With his size, his
Exactly.
ability potentially. So.
If he played, he could have been a top 10 pick. So that's the lowdown on that. Final thoughts, Ricky.
This is my favorite draft of the whole year. I love this draft. I love doing it. I was talking to Dave earlier when we were playing WoW. I was excited to do it, and I hope you guys all loved it.
Yeah,
Dave?
no, I enjoyed it. I think it's super challenging. Like, it's so much harder to do than I remember doing last year. And it's just like once you're on the spot, it's like I prepped. I had my big board per team individually, but then a trade comes up and you start thinking. And I didn't mean to fuck with you on that shit, but it was just like, oh, my brain wants to kill me right now. Why did I even open my mouth? Because like I know I want it, but I don't know how much I want it.
That's
don't
how
know
I
the
felt like
ammo.
the 76ers trade, because I was like, I need to make a trade, and I made the trade, and I was like, ooh, that's way too high for Tyler Hero. But I did it anyways.
But once
It's
you're on the
not-
spot, like it's so easy to criticize, but once you're doing it,
It's
different
not
level of
as hard,
respect.
though, as our lottery one.
Yeah.
Because in that one, you are in charge of every team still.
Right.
At least in this one, I'm not in charge of the teams you're in charge of. So you
trying to
only
be in charge
have
of the Rockets.
You had a select few.
tried to trade
that was
Chris Paul
that was a me thing.
from
I
my
forgot
team.
that they
I
were one
think-
of your teams.
I think we might expand this next year to where we do the lottery and do a live mock draft like that.
After the lottery's already set.
Let's just, I don't know. No, we'll do the lottery,
Yeah.
like with the balls, and then we'll just do the whole fucking 30.
Yeah. So our
shit.
live,
Like this way, and
so
we'll be
our
assigned
live-
teams,
Yeah.
everything.
So our live lotto will be the whole.
Our live
Maybe.
lotto,
Whole first-
live mock.
Yeah, will be
Would
the
you guys
whole
like to see
first
that?
round with teams.
Sure.
I like that better.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to us on YouTube, watching us on Twitch. Obviously, to everybody in the chat, you guys rock. Jake, Spence Fife, Kyle Craig. I'm missing names. 'Cause I don't
Pennywise.
have to pull it up. Pennywise. Shout out to Pennywise. There's a couple names also that are
Jordan
thrown.
Morris,
Jordan.
MJ Lewis,
Lewis out there as well. Thank you guys all for participating and being in
D
here.
Rose cheated on his SAT.
D-Rose
He
cheated
did
on his
confirm
SAT.
it was an SAT.
Shout out to D-Rose cheated on his
He's
SAT.
like, I did my homework.
He
Big
love
C
it.
chat.
What's that?
Big C chat.
Yep. Shout out to him. There was another one too that
Crazy
I think
Josh.
didn't have a Crazy Josh. There's another one too that I don't think had a great name for Air. But shout out to him, kind of. Well, his name has Nazi in it, so it's like if he's a real Nazi.
That was
I'm
Big
like,
C. That's Big C chat.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why we
So,
just stopped at that word chat and we didn't say that word.
kind of shout out, because if you're not a Nazi, cool. If you are a Nazi,
Big C chat. No,
I'm
Not a
down
fan.
on Nazis, guys.
I could
Illinois
say
Nazis
fuck
aren't really a thing,
Yeah.
you know?
That's not true.
No, the Blues Brothers. I was making up.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I was in actual like fuck
Those
Nazi
damn-
mode.
yeah.
Bye, Kyle.
But there was the guy in the third district, Arthur Miller, who ran unopposed in the Republicans.
Yes, he is.
He was a full out Nazi. Anyways, that's gonna
got
do it for
weird.
the fast break. Yeah, it got real weird. Ricky kept it normal to Big C chat, and I was like, I thought I saw Nazis in there, so I had to bring it up there. Anyways, that's gonna do it. For Ricky Whitmer, for Dave Oster, I'm Sean Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us on twitch.tv/MostOutPodcast. Don't forget to support us on patreon.com/MostOutPodcast. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Blog Talk Radio or any of the streaming sites, thank you so much for supporting us. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for sticking through us all the way to the end. And also, let's end it on a good note. Fuck Nazis.
That's what I said.
There we go.
Yep.